especially New York's socialist mayor, who, while these criminals are getting arrested, is busy bragging about his plans to keep this place a sanctuary forever. But critics say if that happens, things in New York could get even worse.
How bad has it been?
Democrat Party's in trouble, you guys. These guys want some socialism and capitalism. They think that's cool. That's not how America works. That's not how America got where we got now. 250 years, did I get here being socialist and communist? And you guys know that. Come on, you guys, man, vote red.
This area used to be really tough.
Residents, shoppers, businesses, passerbys had to endure at all hours of the day.
I'm the mayor of a city of 8.5 million people. More than 3 million are immigrants, and I'm one of them. And yet what we've seen this federal administration's policies do is wreak havoc across our city. And it's not just on those who do not have documentation. Frankly, it breeds a sense of fear among so many who call the city home, where they don't know if they're going to step out of their home and be profiled.
Well, it is being called one of the largest gang busts in the history of Brooklyn.
They're singing and rapping and celebrating. 4 guys in the car, all armed.
BG baby locked up. Somebody got to do this again.
They also voted to defund our law enforcement. So what you're really going to get here, true blue socialists, people who really do want to see our country looking more like Venezuela.
We have to use every tool in the toolbox to make sure that we abolish ICE and keep our immigrant neighbors safe.
So, the socialists now have a firm grasp on the capital of capitalism, New York City, and that's going to be a problem. Because what nobody's talking about is the more the party of higher taxes and open borders wins, the more New York City itself is going to lose. And these socialists have come into office as champions of affordability and the little guy. But the reality is the nightmare they're creating is the least affordable anywhere in America, with $5,000 rents that essentially evict the little guy before he can even think about entering the middle class, all while our leaders continue bragging that this city is a sanctuary first and foremost, which exists in absolute rebellion to the federal government and its laws.
You want all those people to come into the city, but you want no law, no protection. That's crazy. You need protection. You need the people to be protected, man. These people coming here not vetted. They don't love America. They don't know the Constitution. They can't even read. You want to bring these people in. That's insane.
Which they despise. But here's the problem with that. There is no sanctuary city anywhere in America that is a sanctuary city, yes, but has an ironclad justice system that prosecutes violent offenders, refuses to release them, and has overall safe streets. That does not exist anywhere. The sanctuary city is always icing on top of the cake of decriminalization, which essentially lets slide a whole bunch of other types of crimes that do absolutely nothing but make the streets more dangerous. We're talking about no more prosecutions or jailing for things like assaults, robberies, retail thefts, and when you add to that laws like New York's bail reform, which allows repeat offenders to pass through a revolving door jail and get back out on the streets minutes after their 100th arrest, you end up with a public safety disaster. Right. And when the social justice benefits imagined by these policies fail to materialize, there's only one step remaining, which brings us to the real reason the border czar keeps talking about a surge of ICE agents that is on the way to New York City once your city becomes a sanctuary that wants to hide people who've broken America's laws from the federal government while sometimes paying them to stay in your city. It may have passed the point of no return, and there's only one way to bring it back or take it back from criminal elements that should not exist on the streets and should not be emboldened by policies and laws that protect their behavior at the expense of the law-abiding, who are not made safer by a system that looks around every single day to find laws it doesn't like and then either decriminalize them or just stand in opposition to them, because the criminals who break these laws are viewed as victims of somebody like Donald Trump. But as ridiculous as all this sounds, Mayor Mamdani is out there taking a victory lap after his DSA, Democratic Socialists of America candidates, swept the local primaries and are now going to help run the federal government of America. And do you think he's moderating his positions now?
I'm the mayor of a city of 8.5 million people. More than 3 million are immigrants, and I'm one of them. And yet what we've seen this federal administration's policies do is wreak havoc across our city. And it's not just on those who do not have documentation. Frankly, it breeds a sense of fear amongst so many who call the city home, where they don't know if they're going to step out of their home and be profiled.
Appreciate you being in the chat, man. Appreciate you, man. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. That's what's up.
So if you listen to the mayor of New York, every single immigrant here, whether they're here legally or illegally, lives in constant fear, including himself, of being...
Those felonies are misdemeanors, you know that. And the bank had no problems with him. The bank had no fraud. So that's a waste of your time, man. That's a waste of an argument.
Ooh, you know, like Alex. Ooh.
Okay. But yeah, the 34 times conviction, that's all BS, man. The banks, they have no problem with him, man. They were trying to bankrupt him, assassinate him. The man couldn't go to his son's graduation. It was just all political theater, man. Trump's not a felon.
Being profiled by Donald Trump. What a weird statement. There's no way that's true. But to people who've decided they hate the president and want... I would like a specific example of when dangerous fugitives have been turned over to ICE by the Mamdani administration for committing any sort of crime. Haven't heard one yet. And you know what? The candidates the mayor is endorsing have beliefs that go even further than what he's saying. They don't believe in deportations at all. Under any circumstances, even if the person being deported has a dangerous criminal history. They want our justice system to deal with this, and then they want that person made a legal resident of America. Watch.
Under normal circumstances, undocumented defendants charged with crimes go through the system, and if convicted, they get deported before or after serving time. Ms. Chevalier, you recently said on WNYC radio that defendants who commit crimes should not be deported after serving time.
That's crazy.
Why is that?
Because we have a criminal system. It's an imperfect system. It's an imperfect criminal system that I've been critical of, but we have one. And if we truly believe in a system where we don't have double jeopardy on the basis of where someone was born, then we cannot also have a system of punishment that is unique to people who were born elsewhere. We need to make sure that if we really value equality in this country, that we are treating people equally, regardless.
That is such a ridiculous statement. These people, they want to reward criminals who've come here illegally and then committed another crime with permanent residency. That's bizarre. They want somebody to come here and do something, rob a store, rob CVS, and then get hauled before a court, get convicted, get their misdemeanor slap on the wrist, and then, now they can stay forever. That is totally antithetical to law and order. That is totally against the idea of America being a sovereign nation. But these are New York's representatives. These are the people that are headed to Congress to help run America. They might even be on intelligence committees. And this is going to be an absolute disaster for this city itself, where voters want more of this, not less.
Adami had 3 races to run, and they're going not against Republicans, against Hakeem Jeffries and establishment Democrats, and he won all 3. And these are extreme candidates. These aren't just a candidate with more charisma, less charisma, different stances on spending. This is dramatic. In fact, Mamdani, they write this in the New York Times. The outcome will only force the Democratic Party, already searching for an identity, to reckon with an ascendant, unapologetic left, they should say socialist, in endorsing challengers to longtime incumbents. The mayor directly took on Hakeem Jeffries, a Brooklyn native who hopes to become the next Speaker of the House and represents the Democratic establishment. Neither Valdez nor Avila Chevalier have committed to backing the congressman in his bid for Speaker should Democrats win back the majority in November.
Yeah, but
what are they saying?
But here's the thing. Even if the Democrats win the House, Hakeem Jeffries is not going to be Speaker.
Look, the problem that you have here is the people that are taking over the Democrat Party and are taking over New York City do not want anything to do with America whatsoever. And the Democrat Party doesn't really have much of an identity, and this is their new idea.
Right, their policy is Trump bad, and then we give you free stuff. Trump bad, and here's things free. That's stupid as hell. That's not how that works at all, man. You can't keep on saying you're going to tax the billionaires. The billionaires are going to find somewhere else, other states or another country, because they can afford it and leave. and not get taxed, like, you know what I'm saying, these socialist people, these communists are trying to do. That's stupid as hell. The Constitution is designed how it is. It's great. Why we got people that doesn't respect the Constitution, that's not born here, and coming into power and going against the Constitution? That's stupid as hell. How y'all keep electing these people? America about to be 250 years for a reason, because of the Constitution. Yeah, we go back and forth, Democrat, Republican, but the whole thing is still one unit. Either way it goes, 3 governments, period. We got to do better, man. We got to vote with common sense. We can't vote because of race. And we can't vote because Trump bad. No, get out of that. Trump loves America. I love America. We love America. Ain't nobody trying to leave America like that. If they are, they're coming right back. So let's continue. We can't have these people saying gain power, man. They cannot get voted in like this. That's crazy because they want free stuff. These colleges, these schools are messing our kids' mind up. There is no way we keep on talking about slavery. You know what I'm saying? And then as a black man, we keep on talking about kings and queens. As a black man, you know our ancestors were slaves. The kings and queens had our ancestors, our parents, our great-grandparents and all of that were slaves and got sold to the white man. Our ancestors was not kings and queens. They were slaves. Yes, they were kings and queens in Africa, but the ones that got here in America was not a king and a queen, got snatched up from Africa. They made it as if a king and a queen got snatched up from Africa and came to America. That didn't happen. It was slaves that came to America and came from Africa. What the heck, man? What are they teaching these people? And then, you know what I'm saying, as black people, we call each other kings and queens, and then they out there protesting no kings. Make it make sense. As a black man, we glad to be called a king in the household, king of the castle. Come on, y'all. What happened to all that? Insane.
Identity, an anti-American agenda. And these people, it's not like they're voting differently. Are they radical candidates? Yes. But the only difference between them and the people who are Democrats today is they're just not hiding it anymore.
Bro, I'm out on Democrat plantation. Don't where's my shoebox? Stop it, man. Get off the plantation, bro. All you talks with y'all, the talk you using is a slave master talk. Dixiecrats. I'm not no bootlicker. I'm a smart thinker. I believe in truth. I believe in righteousness. I believe in 2 genders.
What's different about how they're going to vote? Are the Democrats now voting for a closed, secure border? No, they don't want to see anybody get deported either. They want everyone to be able to stay here forever. They don't think that somebody that Trump wants to deport is actually a criminal. And if Trump says somebody's a gang member who's got an MS-13 tattoo, they say, nope, that person's not a gang member. That person's a Maryland father. They should be able to stay here forever. So the voting's not going to change. The only difference is there is zero apology about it. And these candidates, they might take things a step further.
To vanquish Trump's fascism, to abolish ICE, and to stand.
There's a dude with a tattoo on his chest, and they fighting for him to be in Congress. But he been a tattoo on his chest for 20 years, as if he didn't know that was a Nazi tattoo. Wow. You voters, man, are insane. And then y'all keep on talking about white supremacy, white men bad, but yet everybody on these people's phones. Who made the iPhone? A white man. Facebook, white man. X, white man. You know what I'm saying? Has anybody in Africa built a car? Has anybody that's black, that's African in Africa, have they built a car? Or made a car industry in Africa without the white man's help? Come on, man. We gotta do better as people.
Up to the billionaires.
Stand up to the billionaires.
Free Palestine. Organize your union. And join DSA.
What we have delivered here today is a clear mandate that the era of taking a check and cashing a check and calling it representation is over.
This is crazy. And you hear all of this applause for what? for doing things that make America more dangerous and less safe. If you're going to tell criminals they can break the law and live in your city and hide from the federal government, that is going to encourage criminals to come here. And when those criminals come here, these very same people, they want to see them do something, get released, and then get to stay here forever. So they want a reward system for illegal immigration. And they want to bring that reward system not just to the sanctuary that is New York, which is now full of gang activity, which has gangs in Brooklyn and Queens and all over the place wreaking havoc on our streets. They want to bring this, what's happening here, to the entire country. And that's something that people here have to realize is a big problem. If you're not going to go vote, if you're not going to participate in your elections, well, guess what? These people, they're going to get out there and participate. They're going to vote. They're going to do everything they can to win.
New York is New York. It's definitely it's the media capital, the financial capital. It is a bellwether like no other city is in this country. So don't tell me that who the mayor of New York is doesn't matter.
Let me
play
devil's advocate for a second. Do you think, let's say, on the seize the means of production, do you think the mayor, that one person, if he is a democratic socialist, do you think that he would have the power and influence to be able to
He's just a socialist, not even a Democrat. He's just a socialist. He's using a Democratic name to get into the party, to infiltrate they bullshit ass ideology. They bullshit information they bullshit out, man. That's bogus as hell. This is a Christian country, not Muslim. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you have your faith and all that, but no, not here though. Praying in the streets like that. You're supposed to pray, have a prayer closet. Pray to yourself. They boasting. Man, that's not cool, man. That's cool.
Usher in socialism?
He definitely has the power and influence to elect J.D. Vance or whoever is the Republican candidate next time. It is a walking commercial for the Republican Party nationally. When you let the Democrats socialists, and now they're actually calling themselves socialists, when you let them take over a major American city, this is what you get. The state-run grocery stores, which work so well in Cuba.
Right, he's got a very good point here, because as the people in New York City cheer and applaud and go full-on communist and just want more and more and more of this radicalism, it is music to their ears. The more that happens here in New York City, the more people that live outside of New York City are going to look at this and say, you know what, these radical candidates, I don't know if I want to vote for these people. I don't know if I want this party.
I'm not dancing for nobody. I'm gonna dance for Jesus, dance for God. That's what anybody person but dance for. I'm not nobody's plantation. I don't know why y'all hate America. We don't live back then. We live in 2026. I'm not oppressed. Nobody's holding me back. And we're talking about white supremacy. And everybody that's preaching white supremacy is married to a white person. That's crazy as hell. You got your AOC, Ilhan Omar, Don Lemon. What are you talking about? Get off the plantation, bro. I'm glad you're in the chat and I appreciate it. But you're not forgetting my chat and trying to tell me what I need to do. You get in my chat, you can just stay, you can just leave, period. Other than that, welcome to the chat. But listen to the chat too as well. This is Cash Jordan. He lives in New York. And it's bullshit over there. It's a shithole. These people do not respect America. America first, baby.
Picking my president. I don't know if I want this party controlling U.S. foreign policy. What do you...
Right, I'm just an American. You know what I'm saying? 100%. I'm an American. USA, baby.
What do you think would happen to U.S. foreign policy if people like this were running it? Do you think we would have more regimes in the world pursuing a path that might be dangerous to the rest of the world, or less of those? What do you think that would mean for world peace and world safety and the safety of our country? Because remember, America is the enemy of many of these regimes that are out there and this political parties.
This is your victory. What you all have shown this evening, whether for state assembly, state senate, or Congress, is that a year ago, it was not the end of a political movement. It was the beginning. And let's hear it for a politics that will never forget working people. For a politics that is ready to write a new chapter in our party's history.
Well, how does socialism never forget working people? It eliminates the businesses that those working people had jobs at. So what do you mean this is some politics that doesn't forget working people. Perhaps what he means is that it remembers them all right because it's going to bring them into the cold embrace of communism and totally change their life forever, which apparently is what the people in New York City want.
You say pay the debt to the Black Americans. Well, we had it with Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln had it for us, but then he got assassinated and Andrew Johnson shut it down. So what you talking about? And everybody keep on voting against them, saying they keep on voting Democrat. Democrat been in power for how many years? For how long? And y'all see talking about reparation, and Democrat Party has not done it. Democrat Party's been in power for the last, 14, 16 years? Come on, y'all. You had Obama twice. You had Joe Biden. And where did they get us? Nowhere.
Because they are all in on this. And when you look on stage here and you remember the radical beliefs these individuals have espoused, which got them elected, this is the walking, talking commercial that Bill Maher is talking about for the Republican Party. And how do you think this is going to affect people who might live in a swing state like Pennsylvania that elected Fetterman? Do you think somebody that comes in there and is essentially a clone of Karl Marx is going to resonate with average people who do not want communism? This could be a massive disaster for this political party on a national scale. And what you could end up having are these hotspots of socialism: New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, and then the rest of the country, Portland, Oregon, of course. But then the rest of the country is like, I don't want this. We've got Venezuela, we've got Cuba, we've got these regime governments all over the place destroying these major American cities. I'm going to vote against that where I live.
Or once posted on Twitter that she forgot napkins, so she wiped her hands on the American flag, and she and the others are poised to be sitting members of Congress. What is your reaction to this, and why this socialist movement is growing right now?
How y'all think Americans still live here?
Well, there's no getting around it that this was a very good night for the DSA, for the Democrat Socialists of America. And I think what should concern everyone is that this is a growing movement. Remember, the DSA has grown 10% in membership since February. They have been chalking up wins at the local and county level in red states like Arizona, Kansas, Iowa. So these congressional seats are simply the next step in the process of them consolidating power and becoming less of a fringe movement on the left than moving towards becoming what is now the establishment Democratic Party.
That's exactly what's happening. But who is to blame for this? You know who it is? It would be the public school system in this country, because the public school system in this country has taught people for long enough now that America is evil and America is unjust and America is rigged and capitalism doesn't work. And if you come from an average upbringing, there's no way you'll get ahead. There's no way you'll ever be president. There's no way you'll ever start a business. The deck is rigged against you. Therefore, you should hate every single thing about this country and actively rise up to resist it. We've indoctrinated people with that belief system, and now they're old enough to vote. Who are they voting for? Are they going to vote for a system they've been taught their entire life by their parents and their teachers is a rigged system that only allows somebody who's rich like Jeff Bezos to get ahead, even though he started Amazon decades ago in a closet somewhere with an internet connection over dial-up? These are not people who support the American dream. They don't think it exists because they've been lied to and they've been harmed by their upbringing, and now they're bringing that upbringing to the ballot box. But President Trump says the communists are finally making their move. I've been waiting and preparing for this for a long time. It's easy to be a communist. All you have to do is say, I'll give you everything. And then he says that this ideology has not worked for thousands of years and that he's ready and it's going to be a show. And you have proof of this. Remember this? Remember Trump meeting with Mamdani in the Oval Office, and everybody was so shocked about this. They said, oh, how could Trump meet Mamdani in the Oval Office? How could he do this? How could he hang out with such a communist in the Oval? Oh, this is crazy. This is not making any sense. Well, it does make sense, because during this meeting...
Right, if socialism working so good, why other countries don't have it? And if they did have it, why did they fail? How you going to try to bring that trash to America and expect it's going to work in America? It's not going to work, man. Period. The Constitution, what it is, you're going to stand.
Which happened a year ago. Trump made him the face of the Democrat Party. He was not meeting with Chuck Schumer. He was not meeting with Nancy Pelosi. He wasn't meeting with any of the establishment Democrats that don't have an ideology.
Dude, go to somebody else. Go to a Democrat with that Epstein question, man. Who cares about Epstein situation? That shit played out, man.
Or don't have a party that just want to resist Trump. He made the communists, the face of this party, without them even knowing it. And they walked right into his little trap, which he knew would set
basic amenities, but they got free health care.
Did your view of J.D. Vance change at all after you did the interview with him?
Did what?
Your views and your opinion of J.D. Vance heading into the interview versus after?
Mine didn't, because I talk to these guys all the time. And when I say these guys, I mean politicians and Republicans. So I know they're always going to be like that. They're never like this, everyone says after the show, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I kind of liked her. It's like, yeah, everybody's a monster until you talk to them. And, are there things we're never going to agree on? Yeah. But right. A guy like that, I knew it. I knew that kind of guy. They're happy warriors. You hit them with, 3 really, really hard-hitting things that say you can't keep doing that, and they answer it, they evade it, but they don't hold it against you. It doesn't turn hateful. That's who it is. Some people don't want that. They want, they would never be happy unless J.D. Vance walked out and I punched him in the nose. That's the only thing that would satisfy certain people. I don't play that game. I like to actually talk to people.
Losing my mind on what's happening right now, especially in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the Nazi in Maine. This really, really, really worries me. So
you might run against Mondani.
I would love to run against. If I was going to run, it would be here. Can I win here? I have no idea. I don't know the demographics, whether they get enough votes. There's a lot of people who like me in New York City. I know that. I've done a lot of good in New York City when I wasn't thinking about politics, whether it's the Barstool Fund, pizza places. So it wasn't for show. I've had a real job. I've done real things. Unlike these clown politicians who have never had a job and never been in the real world for a day.
Right.
But the people voting for these people.
Y'all keep on talking about these other countries, how they supposed to be 10 years ahead of us and all that, but yet you can't, they don't have free speech in China. They have credit scores. You know what I'm saying? They get credit scores. They got all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They cut your power off. Here in America, we got schools closed, but the power was still running. The school, nobody in the school building. Not even the janitor or security in there, but the building's still on. The power's still running. Other countries don't be having that stuff going on. America's a great place, man. I don't see y'all keep on dissing it. Even the smallest details, just power itself, and it running all day. They keep on talking about these other countries. Other countries don't do what we do. Period. You can't say F the president in China, expecting not to go to jail or get credit score debunked, something like that, or taking away your credit score, taken whatever. Do your research on that. China is not great like that. America is.
One are like these young
Russia,
white,
America, baby.
Ivy League-ish, elite-ish women. It's like, who are they? Like, they'll never vote for me. They'll never believe in common sense.
When you're unhappy, you want to make other people unhappy, and that's the key. Dave?
How happy New York is right now? Do you know how cool it is to see your mayor? Wait, no. Do you know how cool it is to see your mayor jump in a pool with the kids?
He's lying about America. I know he's lying to you, man.
The future. He's not trying to care about my safety. I care about my children's life. Homicides are down in New York City. Yeah, rent freezes are happening. Campaign promises are being delivered. You're punishing capitalism. You're saying New York is the city of capitalism with a socialist mayor. He's going to drive everyone to Panama. No, he's going to drive everyone to Puerto Rico.
What Kool-Aid I'm drinking, man? Because I'm not thinking like you guys. I'm a plantation, a Democrat plantation. I'm drinking some Kool-Aid. What the hell are you talking about? I'm 43 years old, black, you know what I'm saying? Black man in America, American. I'm American. How you gonna tell me about my life? You don't know who I am. I'm glad you guys in the chat get to know who I am. Check my channel out. Just don't come in here talking crazy. That's y'all problem, man. Y'all go straight in with no emotions, no facts. You don't know who I am. You see my name. Go to my channel, check it out. Tell me if you like it or not. Started jumping in my chat. Call me a bootlicker, a clown, Sambo, I'm sellout. Come on, man. Y'all gotta do better than this with this chat stuff, man. Y'all keep on talking about the world is racist and white supremacy. Put the fucking phone down. The phone is made by a white man. Put the phone down. You stupid. Everything we use is made by the white man, damn near. What the hell, man? Y'all come on with this racist shit. Makes no fucking sense. Put the phone down. Everything we got out here, touched about, owned about, is done by a white man. They keep it talking about white supremacy. Put the phone down, man. This is not 1976. It's 2026. America is great. Let's continue.
How many billionaires are earning? Yeah, I just think that like y'all are missing the point.
Boy. So we got to react to a very interesting video from Stephen A. Smith, some commentary on the socialists taking over the Democrat Party. Now, why is it that I find Stephen A.'s opinion on the subject to be interesting and worth reacting to? Well, it's the same reason why I find the opinions of individuals like Bill Maher and Dave Portnoy and others to be interesting when you talk about the socialist takeover of the Democrat Party, because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to be up to these individuals as to whether or not the socialists are going to successfully take over the Democrat Party and ultimately win general elections, right? It is up to these individuals, okay? And I'm going to explain what I'm talking about here, because these people are going to have to make hard choices as so-called moderates, right? As so-called liberals, okay? Because we're not dealing with center-left politicians anymore, right? Nope. We're not dealing with very liberal politicians anymore. We're dealing with flat-out socialists and communists.
Right. People that don't love America. They don't love America. They constantly flying their country flags in America first. Or keep on dissing America, saying America's shithole, sending money to other countries. Come on, that's not cool, man. They should not be in power, man. They should not be in Congress. Period. They want to change the Constitution. That's not cool, man. No. If you're not born here like that, why are you in power, man? Yeah, First Amendment. The First Amendment is good, but at the same time, it has consequences. You can say what you want to say, but at the end of the day, it's called consequences.
Listen to these people when they tell you who they are, right? They're telling you we are communists. In fact, they're not satisfied with just having socialists get elected. No, they want the most furthest left candidates possible to win elections, because they believe that this country needs to be dragged to the left in order to restore sanity in this country. Yes, I know it sounds insane, but that's actually how these people think.
I will always and consistently, if given an option to vote for somebody to my left, I will vote for that person, because it's not like the people to my left are going to get their entire slate of policy ideas implemented. That's not how the system works. What we need is people to my left to be in power so they can drag the Overton window back to sanity. The right has moved off the spectrum to the right. Okay, and that's made it so the center has gone right as well. We need people who are to the left of me to drag us back to sanity in this country. And so I love it that it appears to be the case that Daria Liza is actually like a legit communist. But you know what? God fucking bless. I love it. I'm not that. I'm more of a social democrat or a democratic socialist, depending on the day and depending on my mood. But God bless that there's some people.
Once again, I'm about America. Why you keep talking about China, other countries? Fuck them other countries. Go live over there then. If y'all like China so bad and all that trash, go to China. Don't come to my chat talking about some fucking China or Russia and all that other trash. Go over there. Don't come over. Don't live in America and talking about over there lives. Has anybody in this chat ever been to China, lived in China more than 5 to 10 years, or lived in Russia or overseas? Anybody in this chat lived overseas more than 5 to 10 years? Because other than that, y'all just talking stupid shit. Y'all don't know exactly how Russia even feels. How was the weather over in China? Get off China nuts, man. America is great. What the fuck is y'all doing, man? Y'all come on an American chat talking about China. Really?
To my left who are saying some shit like this, because it's only through pulling the spectrum back to the left that we will ever get anything even remotely resembling social democracy and improving the lives of regular people across this country.
Committed. And if you're the Democratic Party, you got to pay attention. You know why? Because your leadership in the House and in the Senate could be in a world of trouble. Now, I think less for Schumer in the Senate than it is for Hakeem Jeffries in the House, but nevertheless, it could happen. Remember,
Schumer's career is over, Stephen A. Right? I'm here to tell you, if AOC decides that she wants to run for Senate, Schumer's done. Right, he's cooked. Okay, Hakeem.
Chad, the 34 felonies were misdemeanors. The bank said the man did nothing wrong. The man couldn't even go to his son's graduation. It was all BS, and you know that. It's all talking points they want you guys to use in a conversation. Based on what 34 felonies was it about? Name 34 felonies. Which one was it? Name one of the felonies out of the 34. Can you do that without Googling it?
Jeffries, I think, is actually safer than Chuck Schumer at this point. I think both really on the chopping block. But I would say that as of right now, I would much rather be Hakeem Jeffries than Chuck Schumer.
Hakeem Jeffries endorsed candidates. His candidates lost. Zohran Mamdani's candidates won. So, by the way, because of that, what does that mean? That means he's gaining traction and he's gaining power. And when we look at Mamdani and what makes him successful, let's understand this as a politician. What is he doing? He can raise money. He can organize young and progressive voters. His endorsements carry real weight now, as we've seen. He can beat the establishment, or he can beat establishment Democrats in deep blue districts. These are the kind of things that he's established already. This is 7 months on the job. And when you consider the fact that his candidates that he's endorsing are the ones winning, and Hakeem Jeffries and the candidates that he's endorsing are not winning, this is the man that was the successor of Nancy Pelosi. When Nancy Pelosi endorsed you, you usually won. If that's not the case with Hakeem Jeffries, how do you think that's going to bode well for him in the House? Just on this show, my show, Straight Shooter, with Stephen A., when we had Senator Alyssa Slotkin on the show the other day, she talked about new leadership being needed within the Democratic Party. Knowing that Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are there already. Now, Chuck Schumer's been around a long time, and few raise money better and more effectively. But who knows what's going to happen if AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the representative out of the Bronx, who knows what's going to happen if her and Zohran Mamdani really become a partnership and a pair? And he's out there campaigning on her behalf. What is that going to translate into? These are the kind of things that we got to concern ourselves with now. If you're a Democrat in the United States, particularly in New York City, Zohran Mamdani is coming. And if he's coming, what does that mean for the rest of America? Because I got questions. Where has socialism ever succeeded? If so, tell us where that is.
Where?
How's it going to succeed in New York? How are you going to sell out of the capitalistic society? You might do it in New York with young voters. What about the people in the suburbs? What about them? You really, really think this kind of message is going to resonate with them? Because, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about here is this. If it resonates within the Democratic Party, but it doesn't have a snowball's chance of resonating in a general election, then you're basically handing the presidency to the GOP in 2028 as well. That's what you're doing. Because the party, the Democratic Party, will have been perceived as being fragmented. That's what I'm seeing when I see Zohran Mamdani. That's what I'm looking at, and that's what I see when I see his ascension taking forward before our very eyes. Is he right? Affordability being a real problem? You're damn right he is. Is he right that the working class has been ignored? You're damn right he is. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last year, the top 1%, when you look at some of these people and what they bring to the table, about the top 10 richest people in the country, they've generated nearly or more than $500 billion for themselves. Whereas over the last several decades, people have been lucky if they got a $9,000 raise.
Yeah. So again, it's stuff like this. This is the reason why they resonate. Is because you say stuff like, well, the top 10 richest people in the United States have generated trillions of dollars for themselves. And that's not true. That's not true. And again, that's the ignorance behind this, right? It's this Marxist rhetoric that is not grounded in reality, that it.
Hey, this is a MAGA, American First channel. Who cares about the 34 felonies? Trump is the president for the next 2 years. I don't understand y'all keep on talking about this Epstein files and the doggone January 6th and all the other stuff. These people been pardoned. They served their time. They've been pardoned. It is what it is. And he's 30 for a felony. He's the president. What are you talking about? Right, this is a MAGA channel. I don't care about this stuff. We already did our research already. I can show you all the videos and debunk everything you guys want to talk about. Period. Right, I'm reacting to another dude. Put the phone down, man. What did you think we doing? What do you think you doing? You watching the news? You watching somebody else report what they seen? Some doing the same thing. It's called sharing information to wake you guys up out here. You liberals and you Democrats, you Karens and you Kevins. So yeah, I'm showing somebody else's stuff. Or I could turn it off and I could just talk to you straight with it. It doesn't matter. You guys on these phones be tripping, man. Put the phone down. Go back to reading a book, man. Read a book or a Bible. Y'all come on here with saying the most stupidest stuff. Do y'all wake up and just tweet stuff stupidly? Think for y'all text, you know?
It's a misunderstanding, a fundamental misunderstanding in regards to how markets work, how the economy works, how wealth creation works. When people like Elon Musk, right, when he gets richer, the pie does not shrink. The pie expands, okay? All the employees at SpaceX or Tesla or all his companies, they get paid. All the people who are invested in his companies, they also benefit. If you're invested in the stock market in any way, you benefit. If you have your retirement in the stock market, you benefit. Amen. There are people who are benefiting tremendously from the so-called rich getting richer. Income inequality is not a bad thing by definition. The pie is not getting smaller. It is getting bigger, right? Now, the problem is that we're losing the culture and the mentality that made this country great in the first place. And we're replacing it with a loser's mentality where people are jealous of what they think other people have that they don't have. And unfortunately, that is resonating with a large amount of losers in this country. Because let's be real, socialism resonates with losers, okay? People who don't make smart decisions, who aren't financially literate, who don't want to work hard, who don't want to take risks. These are all things that must be done if you want to benefit from capitalism. That's what this country is built off of, right? This country was literally built off, hey, my house is bigger than yours, right? If you want a house bigger than mine, okay, then you need to work harder, right? I got a big house, a big yard, a beautiful wife, 5 kids, a nice car, and I work hard for it, right? And yes, I consume a lot, right? I consume a lot. That is America, okay? Everything is bigger and better in America. That is what this country is about. It's all about that, okay? That's what made this country great. That's why quality of life is much better than everywhere else on the planet, right? Ask the Europeans, which is, you know, that is who the socialists want us to be like, right? Stephen A says, well, can you show us a country where this stuff has worked? Well, of course they can't show us a country where this has worked. This is why they continue to point out examples of countries that actually are not good examples of what we would be like if we got on board with their far left agenda, right? They want to point to Sweden and Denmark and Norway. And it's like,
right, that's what I'm saying.
That's not what we would end up like if we got on board with the far left agenda, right? Those countries, the socialists don't want it to be like those countries. You know why? Because those countries are homogeneous, right? They don't have mass migration. They're all rich and they're small, right? They don't want, socialists don't want us to be like those countries. The countries that we would actually end up like would be more like France, like the UK. And right now, what is happening in those countries? You literally have people who are dying because they don't have air conditioning. Why don't they have air conditioning?
Hello.
Oh, because of socialism.
Right,
because
the Green New Deal
far left
BS.
agenda on climate, right? The same exact things that AOC believes in, that Zoran believes in. The Green New Deal stuff, yeah, they're doing that. They're trying that in Europe. And again, people are dying. They're dying. And if you question it, right,
You're
if
racist.
you have something to say about it, negative about it, then you're a bad person because you don't want to save the planet. And they're telling their people, suck it up as they die from the lack of basic amenities. But they got free health care. Yeah, but the middle class is heavily taxed. So you're heavily taxed with free health care that's not really free.
Come on, chat. Where's the lie? Where is the lie? This is Greg. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe everybody say, but the man is speaking some facts, man. Where is the lie? Come on, chat.
And you're dying from being too hot because you don't even have the basic amenities. You don't own shit. You're dying from extreme weather, again, because you don't have the basic amenities. You don't have free speech. Quality of life is worse. And on top of that, your country's been taken over by third worlders, right? Again, that is what they want us to be like. That is what Mandami and AOC was. That's the vision for America. Just look at the UK. That is the vision for America that they want for us. The UK is poor than the poorest state in the Union, in the United States. Life is not affordable there.
Make Kamala sober again. That's a
There's
good one.
nothing affordable about Europe. But again, this is what they're selling folks. And people eat it up because of this Marxist rhetoric about, oh, Elon Musk is a trillionaire, right? Well, Elon Musk is literally providing the world with internet. Elon Musk is enabling us to travel in space. Elon Musk is providing miracles and allowing people to do things that we never thought, that we thought were basically divine, right? Helping people hear for the first time. Helping people with diseases, debilitating diseases, through technology, through innovation. Providing value to the world. And the socialists are like, nah, that guy's a bad guy. Let's take everything away from him and give it to people who don't produce as much, right? Socialism is only affordable for people who don't want to work. Right? Yeah. Socialism will make your life more affordable if you don't want to work. If you want to work less, which, you know, Europeans don't work as much as we do, right?
I'm going to rewind it a little bit back so you guys can hear it again, chat. He's speaking facts, man.
First. And on top of that, your country's been taken over by third worlders, right? Again, that is what they want us to be like. That is what Mandami and AOC was. That's the vision for America. Just look at the UK. That is the vision for America that they want for us. The UK is poor than the poorest state in the Union, in the United States. Life is not affordable there. There's nothing affordable about Europe.
Hey, you talking about what, 45 viewers? I actually got 2,000 viewers right now watching, bro. Don't let that fool you, man. You see 47 up there on a bar. But what I'm saying 2,000, and they steady growing. So it's way more viewers than what you think it is.
But again, this is what they're selling folks. And people eat it up because of this Marxist rhetoric about, oh, Elon Musk is a trillionaire, right? Well, Elon Musk is literally providing the world with internet. Elon Musk is enabling us to travel in space.
Right, to your channel, but it's 2,207 and it's steady growing. If you don't like the channel with my chat, man, you can go ahead and leave. You know what I'm saying? Why you worry about my numbers? Are you listening to the message? That's the problem. Y'all jump in our chats and our channels, and you're not even watching the fucking video or listen to our message. That shit crazy as hell. That shit crazy as hell.
Elon Musk is providing miracles.
You're about how many people watching the chat.
And allowing
Are you watching it? What's going on? Are you
to do things that we never thought, that we thought were basically divine, right?
You're on a troll. Okay, that's cool.
Helping people
go ahead and troll
hear for the first time.
Hey, chat, don't block them. Let them stay in the chat. Don't block them.
Helping people with diseases, debilitating diseases, through technology, through innovation. Providing value to the world. And the socialists are like, nah, that guy's a bad guy. Let's take everything away from him and give it to people who don't produce as much, right? Socialism is only affordable for people who don't want to work, right? Yeah. Socialism will make your life more affordable if you don't want to work. If you want to work less, which, you know, Europeans don't work as much as we do, right? If you're one of these people, you don't like working hard, yeah, you're going to love socialism. because it will make your life more affordable. You work less and you get more, right? But if you like to work hard and you like to keep your own money, you like to take risk, right? Socialism is not going to make your life more affordable. Sorry, right? Sorry to burst your bubble, okay? Which, again, is why there's a lack of innovation in Europe, which is why the quality of life is worse, which is why, again, they don't have air conditioning, okay? That is the warmth of collectivism that socialists claim is so great, right? So, again, when these people point to the billionaires, people that have, more money than they do, and they say, hey, they're the problem. Again, it's a very, very, very toxic ideology. Again, it's Marxist ideology that basically stands against everything this country was founded upon. We were not founded on equality, okay? I'm just keeping it 100. If we were, we all be equally poor. Income inequality is good, right? It's not bad, okay? It's not bad by definition. It is a good thing. Does that mean there are no negative externalities from income inequality? No. Obviously, everything is not 100% good, right? But it's overall better, right, than what these communists and these socialists are proposing for us. And we have examples to point to, concrete examples, that demonstrate my point. So, I'm just saying that this whole jealousy of people that got more money than, everybody is crazy to me, because the pie is expanding for everybody, right? You have to participate in the system. I'm sorry, right? If you participate, you will benefit. But if you don't participate, you're going to get left behind. This is why you encourage people to participate. This is why I tell people, instead of bitching and crying about what somebody else got, hey, you need to work harder. You need to work smarter. You need to take risks. And if you do all those things, you will be fine. You will be okay. But if you don't want to do those things, if you just want to do labor, right, and you don't want to participate in capital, then, you're going to have a hard time getting ahead. It is what it is. But that's a choice, okay? That's a choice.
And in decades. That is what Mamdani is speaking to. That is what he's focusing on. That is what is resonating. But in the end, what it's going to do is serve to divide the Democratic Party. It's not going to have any effect on the Republicans as it pertains to what their plan of action is, because they're going to ask you to choose between capitalism and socialism. Before all of that, it's up to the Democratic Party to find a way to make a decision. Who's going to lead the party going into the future? If it's Zoran, it's socialism. Unless somebody that resonates as effectively is able to step up to the plate and ensure that the Democratic Party is not going to be at the mercy of the mayor of New York City. That's what this comes down to. Did you see what else Mamdani said? He said, quote, we don't have to ask ourselves what life looks like if a socialist wins.
Damn.
I won last November. And over the course of these last 6 months, what we've delivered for working people are the very things we were told were impossible. And we've done all of these things while also delivering the lowest recorded crime in our city's history. That's what it looks like to have democratic socialism. And what you're seeing is that New Yorkers experienced this for 6 months and made the decision that they wanted to see more of it on the national stage as well. I'm not buying that yet, but it sounds damn good. What I want to know is that when you freeze rent, what else have you frozen? Have you frozen the price of equipment? Have you frozen maintenance? Have you frozen those things? Because those things still need to happen, and it costs. Nothing's free.
Boom.
And if you're talking about taxing and more taxing, excuse me, you're going to run businesses out of New York City, and then ultimately, where's the money going to come from? To develop a middle class, let alone pay them. That's how I'm looking at things. Obviously, he's looking at it a bit differently, which is why I'm doing this segment, because I can't wait to talk to him. I've been anxious to have him on the show to ask him some of these questions. I'm waiting to see whether or not he's going to accept it and what he's going to have to say once he ultimately does. Because in the end, the money has to come from somewhere. Nothing is free, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely, positively, nothing is free. If you're not paying, it's because somebody else is. And if you want to say it's the wealthy that's going to be paid, well, if they're taking their asses out of New York City, who's going to be here to pay it? Eventually, it'll trickle down to that middle class that was supposed to be being spared. And where's that going to leave the city? These are just questions. I'm not pretending to have the answers. I don't know. But they're legitimate questions that I need answers to, coming from a proud, renowned democratic socialist like Zoran Mamdani. Inquiring minds want to know. Can't wait to talk to him. I'm going to stay on this subject for a while.
Yeah. So you see, now you heard that. Okay. Stephen A is freaking out and giving a warning to the Democrats over what is happening to their party. Now, Zoran is a snake oil salesman, right? Mm-hmm. He's a con artist. Yeah. He's running around talking about I froze the rent and this, that, and the other. He's only been in office for what, a few months, right? We had to have enough time yet, okay, to actually see the results of the warmth of collectivism. Nope, but I can already tell you again what the results are going to be. Again, look at our European counterparts, okay? Now, my question is for Stephen A. Smith and people like himself, Bill Maher, Dave Portnoy, you talk a big game about being against these socialists and how you're not on board with it. But push come to shove, who are you going to support in a general election? Who are you going to support, Stephen A? Because these are the same individuals who pretend as if they have an open mind. I'm open-minded to voting Republican.
You can't, right, but you constantly voting one way all the time. You constantly voting Democrat. But you say you a moderate, you center. That's not center. Democrats are not center. Democrats are left. And now they're definitely far left by being socialists. Insane. How y'all want these socialist people coming to America with this dumb stuff, man? It doesn't work. Never did. Never will. It would never work. And they know that.
But nowadays, the excuse, right, even though these people complain about the excesses of the left, right, the excuse for not voting Republican is, well, see, I don't like Trump. I'm just not on board with Trump, right? That's essentially the argument that Stephen A. made when he voted for Kamala Harris, right, who is far left as well, too. Okay, even though Stephen A. claims to be a moderate, he voted for Kamala Harris.
Right.
Who, when she was in Senate, she had the most far left record, right? Right up there with Bernie Sanders, okay? Push come to shove, if it's JD versus AOC, who are you voting for, Stephen A? If it's Ron DeSantis versus AOC, who are you voting for, Stephen A?
Who you voting for?
If it's Marco Rubio versus AOC, who are you voting for, Stephen A? That's the real question. Again, I got that question for Bill Maher, Dave Portnoy, all these people.
And it's okay to vote, you know what I'm saying, Republican. It won't hurt. I vote Democrat, which I didn't, but I did. I learned my lesson. But you guys voted Democrat for the last 60, 70 years, if not longer. What? And they got nowhere. Well, Chicago, since 1922, they've been voting Democrat and has gotten nowhere. Insane. Got nowhere. And they want things to change. And then they want to blame Trump. Trump in New York. If he's not in New York, he's in Washington, D.C. He got nothing to do with Illinois, Chicago, Illinois crime. None of that. And when now he's the president, he's actually, hey, I could bring the National Guard down there. They don't want it. They want chaos. They want the fear. That's sad, man. They been asking to give you guys help. They don't want it. But back in the day, National Guards always been used to help when it came to like major crisis.
Claim to be moderate, right? Swing voters, right? Or center-left liberal. You guys are the ones who we really should be questioning. Are you still going to use Trump as an excuse not to vote Republican? Because Trump is not going to be on
Right,
the ballot.
Justin. Why they love so communist so much? Why they
You're not going to be able to use that excuse anymore.
Good question.
Right?
Why they come
You're going to have to make
a
real choice. Are you going to vote Republican, or are you going to vote for socialist? Are you going to vote for communist, even though you claim to be moderate? And I think that's a more fascinating conversation. Yeah, we know that the Democrat Party base has succumbed to socialism. But let's be honest, that just hurts the Democrat Party for the most part. It only hurts the country when these people actually start winning elections.
You say don't come to the Republican Party. The Republican Party want to free the slaves.
Individuals like Stephen A., the Bill Maher's of the world.
Democrat Party shut down reparations. 40 acres in MU. Democrat Party shut it down. Andrew Johnson. Reparation was right there. Got shut down. Lincoln assassinated.
Are standing in the way of socialists winning general elections, because ultimately that's what general elections come down to. It comes down to the so-called moderates. The people who are supposed to be in the middle. The people supposed to be center left, center right. It comes down to those people. And if these people like Stephen A., who claim to be moderate, but yeah, they just vote Democrat. They find an excuse to vote Democrat, right? Every election, but they claim to be moderate, right? If they can't sack up and to vote Republican, then they're the ones that are going to be primarily responsible for the socialists taking over. I don't want to hear the bitching and crying. You can get on the mic and you can cry all you want to about the socialism. Talk about how you don't agree with it. But if you are not willing to vote Republican, if you're not willing to vote conservative in the other direction, then you're just as bad as them. In fact, you're worse because you know better, right? At least I can say that the socialist base, they probably don't know better, right? They just jealous of people that got more than they do, right? But I can say somebody like Stephen A., you should know better. Somebody like Bill Maher, you should know better. But again, if you choose to still vote for this stuff, you choose to still support.
Right, Democratic voted against the civil rights bill. Y'all don't do no research. Some of y'all don't do no research, right? Good one, bud. They voted against it. Everything that the Republican put out for us Black Americans in the past, the Democratic voted against it. They voted against the slavery. That's why you had the Civil War. They wanted to keep the slaves.
The Democrat Party, then you're a part of the problem. You are a part of the problem. That's part of the reason why Democrats felt comfortable getting in bed with socialists, because they said, well, the moderates hate Trump. So if it's between Trump and socialism, right, then, they'll probably go with socialism. That is the calculation that Democrats made. That's why they chose to do that. Because at one point, evidenced by Gavin Newsom's behavior, the Democrat Party was going to try to move to the right. They were going to try to become more moderate. Right after the 2024 election, but when the base of radical lunatics started rioting in the street, protesting the street, started attacking Democrats for not being Trump deranged enough, right? Democrats said, okay, well, we got to be far left. Because they were afraid of being punished.
They were so far left for the win. They were ready to sacrifice everything to stay in power. Now it's biting them in the ass. They did all that bullshit, all the dirty hand shit. Now it's biting their ass.
For not being far left enough, for not being Trump deranged enough. So if you're not going to punish them for getting in bed with socialists and Marxists, then you're part of the problem. You're enabling it. You're basically on board with it, to be honest with you.
Right, that's what I just said. He was the first American president.
So again, I think that it's time to demand this.
And he had, where reparation was set up and also get 40 acres in MU, but he was assassinated and Andrew Johnson shut it down.
So-called moderates, right? The center-left people, the liberals.
Black Harlem. Who destroyed Black Harlem? Democrats.
Like the Stephen A's and the Bill Maher's. Okay, you talk that big game. What about your vote? Are you going to vote for? Are you going to continue to?
Darren, before I get to Anton, who do you hold most culpable for the state of affairs involving Black America at this point in time?
I think it's a combination of a lot of different things, but it's a confluence of the lack of leadership on the federal level, starting with President Trump. And then I think the second part of it is that we've got to be more emboldened to hold the elected officials accountable. You can't just come in our communities and tell us things that we want to hear. We got to make sure that when we elect you, particularly Black women, who is the backbone of the Democratic Party, we got to make sure that we hold them accountable, and not just Democrats. We got to get into those rooms with Republicans too, and don't let them off the hook. So I think it's a confluence of a lack of leadership on the federal and state level, but also making sure we hold our Black leaders more accountable to make sure that they deliver on what they promised us.
Anton, when I would ask you the same question, what do you believe the state of Black America to be at this particular moment in time? Who do you hold most culpable for it?
I'm not sure exactly what he means by fluid. And I'm assuming that he defined that based off of the different parameters by which he spoke about the Black community. However, I think I agree with him, except for I would describe it as in shambles. Worse off than we've ever been. Freer than we've ever been. What up, bro? And the fact that we're willing to blame Trump, although we've had decades of opportunities, Black cities. You look at some of the blackest cities in the United States of America. Memphis, for example, was in shambles and they needed Trump's help. And I think that there's a lack of accountability and victimhood. And as long as we continue to promote that it's somebody else's fault, I was looking at.
Hey, chat, my thing is this. We keep on talking about our ancestors being slaves and all that. And that's, what I'm saying, that's true. But the thing about it, the kings and queens of Africa, they sold our ancestors, they were slaves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all act like as if the white man came to Africa and took kings and queens from Africa and made them slaves in Africa. It was slaves that was taken from Africa and got sold into America. And not only just, it was around the world, the whole world was slave. It was money, it was a business. Some people did it much cruel when it came to their slaves. Some treat their slaves good, some treat their slaves like shit. It was bogus. It was money. It is what it was. I wish it never happened, but it was money. People was happy to be a slave. That's crazy. Trump is, oh my gosh, man. So all I'm saying is, as Black people growing up, we was calling each other kings and queens, but our kings and queens sold us. Our kings and queens in Africa sold us to the white man. So in reality, we was a slave. We weren't no kings and queens. That shit crazy, man. We going back and forth over stuff that makes no sense, man. Stuff way back then. We living in now. It's good to use the past to understand and make the future better and learn from the past, but some people just stay stuck and won't let it go. You know what I'm saying? This is not 1996. This is 2026. Totally different era. Things change.
At Juneteenth in Chicago, right? And you had over 7 people killed and 36 people shot. And while we were focusing on whether or not Asians and
my grandma, both my grandmas, my wife's grandma about to be turned 90, 4th of July. She'll be 90 years old, 4th of July. You know what I'm saying? USA baby 250. Then my grandma, July 18, she'll be 97. So they both was born in 1920s and 30s. And they picked the cottons back then. They wasn't saying it was an issue picking cotton. They wasn't saying it was a slave thing. It was a business. They're getting money. And the problem is people that's, I guess, older than me, 20, 30 years or more, I guess they stuck in the past, what happened to them, but that's not happening now. All that stuff has changed. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff has changed. Right, Obama's a slave owner. Kamala Harris, Sonny Hostin, they all had slaves except for Trump. That's crazy. And y'all keep on voting for them. Y'all keep on voting for the slave masters back in power. That's funny.
White people, whether it's Carmelo Anthony or Cyrus Carmack, is responsible and if they should go to jail or not.
Thanks again, Jarnell.
In every city across America, especially where predominantly Black people live, you don't have to kill each other, but There's drive-bys, and there were over 113
right,
shell
bro,
casings.
So they want to knock
where 12 people were shot
got a tattoo
on
on chest for
Juneteenth
20
itself.
years.
And so
he didn't know what it
when
was.
I look at the state of the Black community, it has nothing to do with the political landscape. It has everything to do with self-accountability, regardless of whether or not you're picking the right curriculum, if you want to go to college or you want to go to community college. Healthcare, I don't think that.
Right, Obama did nothing for Chicago, period. He did nothing for Chicago. He messed up, what's that, with Jackson Park? He tore that part, he tore that up, and people haven't got paid yet. Come on, Obama. You a multi-millionaire. Pay these people. Pay their money, man. On the real. That's insane. You the ex-president. You ain't got no money. You can't use the military to help finish your building. That shit crazy, man. There's people in Chicago hurt, man. Obama did nothing for them in Chicago. I'm from Chicago. He did nothing for Chicago at all but caused chaos. Chaos, man. No, the only thing he took care of was the LGBTQ community. They went from they want to get married to then they want to have babies, and then to now they want to cut the babies. Now they just all type of BS, man. Foul.
We're concerned about it. Self-care, I don't think that we're concerned about it. And more importantly, I think that we're more concerned about self-care with regard to promoting ourselves and the culture that's the worst for us versus taking accountability for the state that we have ourselves in. We don't have to have children out of wedlock. We don't have to put ourselves at a disadvantage, and we don't have to have children in poverty. And we have more technological advantages as far as research and understanding of the past than we've ever had before. But for some reason, we're still worse off when we continue to vote the same way while requesting nothing from politicians and letting women lead us to the polls. And that is the direct result. You're seeing it transpire inside of the Black community.
Yep.
Well said. Well said. Couldn't have said that any better myself. Like, it's crazy to think that there are some Black folks who just like still want to play this blame game. Oh, well, it's Trump's fault. Trump just got here. We've been seeing some of these issues. Trump don't run Chicago.
Nope.
I got a video coming on that situation today as well, if I haven't uploaded it already. But yeah, it's just so ridiculous to keep pointing the finger at everybody else except for our darn selves. Oh, it's the white person. It's like, and that is the reason why we're in this position. Because instead of pointing the finger back at ourselves, you got some Black folks who just continue to want to blame everybody else. And then, as
right, Justin.
Anton said,
hey, Justin, you own it, man. Hey, Chat, y'all reading what Justin writing down? Man, this man on point with it, man. Justin hitting it, man. He's coming with some facts. On the real.
And you've gotten the same exact results every single time. I mean, look at you name the predominantly Black city that Democrats run, and it is overrun with crime. Every single one of them. Every single one. It's ridiculous.
Black people can't take responsibility for our own actions and decisions because that means no more free handouts. That means no more bullying people into validate something that they're not seeing from us. That means no more blaming white people for the reason as to why your shit is not together. Black people run from accountability as if you done sucked a whole bunch of dogs behind us. You tell a Black person, oh, well, we need to fix this in our community. Then it goes into, oh, but that's not all Black people though. That's common fucking sense. Y'all keep trying to hide y'all piss poor decisions and poor behavior behind Black people who's actually trying to uphold the Black community. The issue is y'all are some Susie choosy ass Black people. Y'all pick and choose when you stand for individualism and when you stand for community. When it comes to taking some accountability, all of a sudden, oh, but it's not all Black people. No, we know it's not all Black people because it ain't me, but it's most definitely you. So can you take accountability? Black?
100% facts. 100% facts. Run from accountability like there's a bunch of dogs.
Damn.
That's facts. I mean, it's the truth. It is the 100% truth, and it's about time that somebody starts saying it. Somebody got to say it because it's just gotten absolutely ridiculous out here with these folks blaming anybody and everybody except for themselves. Right. The white man didn't put you in that position. As Anton said, the white man didn't make you have a child out of wedlock. It's not their fault. It's yours. You made that decision. You made that choice. So, yeah, I got some more though.
In the next 2 to 3 years, hip hop is not going to exist. And the World Cup is the reason why. Currently, the World Cup is going on here in America, and you got a whole bunch of white people and other people who have traveled from their respective countries to America to enjoy the World Cup. And that is exactly what they're doing. You have people from all walks of life who have come to America to watch the World Cup and partake in American culture. And they are doing just that. And the number one thing they are not encountering is Black fatigue or the activities that lead to that. And I think what you guys are going to see when this is all over, you're going to have a bunch of people around America from all walks of life, Asian, Hispanic, white, whatever. They're going to be between the ages of like 12 and 25. And they are going to look back at 2026 World Cup America, and they're going to yearn for that. They're going to want more of that. And they're going to do whatever they need to do to get more of it. And there's not going to be a whole lot that they can do. And they're going to look at the one thing that allowed them to have peace and happiness and some semblance of fun and joy. And they're going to say, we got to get rid of Black culture. And they're going to say that because they are experiencing what could be if Black culture is restrained. Keep in mind, I'm not saying all Black people are bad. I'm not trying to race pander or anything like that. I'm simply saying, I don't know if Black people are just being on their collective best behavior or if the cops have been given special instructions with how to handle Black culture. But whatever the case might be, people are seeing what is possible when Black culture is restrained and everybody else's culture is allowed to go out there and have some fun. And it's going to be glorious to them, and they're going to want more of it. Now, keep in mind, hip-hop started with a moment. It started with one song. I think it was like Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five or something like that. It's called The Message. That was the song that kicked it all off. Well, just like hip-hop was started with one particular moment, it can be ended in one particular moment. And I think this World Cup is going to be the moment. Keep in mind, rock and roll, same thing. People just collectively woke up one day and they were over it, and it all just evaporated. You don't hear any popular rock and roll right now. So just like a thing can get started, it can be ended. And I think the fun and the joy that people are having, devoid of whether you want to call it Black culture, Black fatigue, whatever the case might be, the fun and the joy that people are having without Black folks acting up, they're going to want more of it, and they're going to say, they're going to press the delete button on hip hop culture so they could have more of this. In the next 2 to
I mean, she's got a little bit of a point there. She's got a point, right? And I actually had this conversation with some homies the other day. Like, we were out somewhere, and some what's a PG way I can say this? There's a difference between Black people and niggas. Put an N in front of that. Okay, I'm gonna keep it PG. There's a difference between a Black person and a nigga. Okay, like I said, put an N in front of nigga. All right, and some of those types of individuals, some niggas, walked into where we were at, and I'm like, I asked my homie, like, you know them? What's going on? Like, because I don't associate with them. I stay as far away as possible from them because there's nothing but trouble. Nothing but trouble. Every single time. There was a Carnival Cruise
no problem
video that I think went viral
Thank
recently.
you, Justin.
Bunch of niggas fighting. It just every single time. You cannot have a good time where there's those types of individuals in the vicinity. You just can't. There's going to be a fight. Somebody's getting shot, and somebody may not make it home that night. Guarantee it. Every single time. Every single time. So whenever I see that there's those types of individuals, I'm out. I'm out of there. Leaving. And if I pull up somewhere and see them already there, we're going to keep on rolling. We ain't even stopping. Nope.
That's sad, man. It shouldn't be like that.
We're going to keep on rolling. No, sir. No, sir. Cannot do it. Ain't happening. Just
the way it is. Just the way it is. Let's hop into this next clip, though.
The legacy of slavery. Oh, we deserve reparations. All this nonsense. To the extent that you do that, you sound pathetic. Listen, I used to be homeless. I used to live out of my car. I know what it's like to be down on your luck and having not 2 pennies to rub together. And it's through conventional means that I was able to make something of myself, where I now run a plumbing company, where I now run a film company. I didn't do it by going through some government program. I didn't do it by leaning into this. No, I did it by being a man. That's what's responsible. That's what's required of us. In keeping with Booker T. Washington, in keeping with Joseph H. Jackson. I could be a protester today because I felt sorry for myself and the government owes me something. No, the condition that led to my homelessness was done by yours truly. And yes, I may have been dealt a bad hand in this area or that area of my life, but at the end of the day, it's up to the victim to get himself up, to take advantage of his opportunities. All we're doing, Austin, is we're feeding into this kind of woe is me mentality that doesn't breed genuine liberty, that doesn't breed genuine equality. All it breeds is more resentment. All it breeds is more issues and disorder and degeneration and all the things. I want to see that turn around. I want to see that begin to shift by people taking personal responsibility. We can
100%. I agree. I mean, across the board, yeah, a lot of people are dealt a bad hand. And welcome to life.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Like for me, I live in Rockford, and man, guess what? I get 4 days off. I work the weekend shift. I get 4 days off. And that's why I'm here to do this YouTube thing in the morning with you guys, 4 days a week. Or how many times I need to go. You know what I'm saying? Give you guys the information. But yeah, nobody's holding me back. I'm married, I'm happy, living in a great house. You know what I'm saying? No complaints. I don't understand how people keep on having this victim mentality. You know what I'm saying? My friends, they still stuck in the past. They still in Chicago, still doing the same shit. Like, damn, what the hell? The only person holding them back is themselves. I'm out here chilling. I got peace and quiet. In Chicago, you know what I'm saying? It's a crackhead running around right now. A crackhead running around 3 a.m. You can't even have your window up. Especially living on the first floor, you can't have your window up. Like, damn, it's hot. You want the window up, you want to, you know what I'm saying, have the air come in. You can't do that in Chicago. Somebody want to come in and steal some shit. Or anything weird, you know what I'm saying? It's really a perfect place, but there's some places you can go that is peaceful. And where I'm at is peace. I'm happy. I love Chicago. I miss it. Still visit. You know, I got family out there. Definitely miss the food. But all this chaos is going on out there. This victim mentality, still stuck in the past. Still voting blue no matter who. And they keep voting blue with no clue. That's stupid. Well, all these people policies. And then when they get in there, hold on for what they said they're going to do. They said they're going to not raise property taxes, make sure they don't. But guess what happened? They get in and raise it up anyway. Brandon Johnson and Madani. Property taxes up the roof. They campaign saying they're not going to do it. Here it is. I'm going to play the next video about Chicago.
Welcome to life. You aren't the first person that was dealt a bad hand in life, and you aren't going to be the last just because you're black.
Thank you, Florida.
That was the reason why you were given a bad hand in life. No, there's white people who grow up poor, destitute, in bad situations, who grow up with parents that beat the crap out of them. You know, there's Asian people who have the same situation, Hispanics who grew up in the same situation. So it does not matter. Okay? Figure it out just like the rest of them did. Ain't got nothing to do with your skin color. It's crazy. It's crazy. So happy to see more and more folks.
Right. In Chicago, I was a barber. I was security. I was able to work being a barber during the day and I did security at night, if not during the weekend. And then got to the point where I was able to go from being a barber in a barbershop to where I was traveling. I started going to people's houses, cutting their hair. And then after that, I got a chance to work at a high school, a college. Austin High School in Chicago. And it was fun. Worked about 5 years. I was head of security. But when it came to being in Chicago and the kids learning, the kids wasn't learning nothing. They can't write in cursive. They can't read they can't read an analog clock. They can't read. They can't really write. And then most of all, they can't read. And that's the most damaging thing, y'all. They can't read. And that's one thing about being a slave back in the day. Slaves couldn't even read back then. We all can read. We all have access to everything to read. No problems. Back then, you couldn't read back then. You couldn't really vote. And Democrat Party didn't want you to read. Democrat Party didn't want you to vote. Do your research on that, man. But yet we have the opportunity to read, but yet they ain't reading. All they want to know is, what's that word? What that word say? Huh? Wow, that's not cool, man. Well, after having the kids go into front of the class and read, you know what I'm saying? They couldn't read, hooked on phonics. Now it's just graduate, throw them out there. No help, just throw them out there.
You know, calling out the nonsense. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. But I just wanted to share that with you all. Not everybody, okay, is pointing the finger at everybody else. It's beautiful to see, you know. Actually, I got another clip. There we go.
Black people is because they're jealous of black culture. And I sort of find that strange because what exactly is there to be jealous about? Are they jealous of the music in our culture that glorifies single motherhood, gang violence, and murder? Are they jealous?
Right, Chicago Public Schools, as long as you got perfect attendance, you can graduate. Or you can go to school with perfect attendance and you ain't had no fight, you can graduate. As far as academics and all that, they don't care. These kids don't read nothing over the summer. No type of assignment over the summer. When we grew up, we had work to do over the summer. Some type of project to keep us busy, keep our minds sharp. These kids ain't getting none of that. And these kids is doing these teen takeovers, and some of these kids that was learning from COVID off the damn laptop, fucking e-learning. These kids are doing a teen takeover. I believe most of these are e-learning kids. They ain't learning shit. Man, it's sad. And the parents ain't on it. They not even checking the kids' phones. They out here partying and drinking, trying to still be young. And you got these kids out here running around, emotional, confused, because they got people telling them all type of BS. The teacher telling them all type of trash. The TV telling them, the phone telling them, the goofy ass auntie or cousin telling them. It's just a lot of information out here. They need control. And the parents got to be the one to help them out.
That we as African Americans have some of the highest divorce rates, lowest marriage rates, and some of the lowest two-person household rates? You guys, as a fellow black person, I hate to burst your bubble, but the reason why groups of people do not like African Americans is not because they're jealous of us. It's because our culture has turned into garbage, which creates garbage people. And then those garbage people create garbage acts that make other people not want to be around us. The notion that people do not like you because they are jealous of you is feminine. It shows that the black community does not have proper critical thinking skills to solve problems. So what they do is, in a very feminine way, by the way, is divert blame and shame elsewhere. Because at the end of the day, we are human beings and we want to be communal. But if a human being has poor social and communication skills, they will say and or do anything to justify why they are not liked. And never in my days as a grown-ass man has a group of people not liked me. And I said to myself, the reason why...
Yeah, it went downhill. I'm glad Texas somebody bringing the Bible back into to schools. Because it makes no sense to have a Bible in jail, but no Bible in school. It's like, no, learn the Bible now so that way you don't have to go to jail to learn about the Bible. That's stupid as hell. You go to jail and learn about the Bible. That's insane. Insane. And I know churches out here now, but just a general fact that when you mess up, you learn about the Bible in jail. And they find Jesus then. You can find Jesus before then. Religion had no place in school. That's the whole point. It's not about being religious, man. It's called common sense, peace, and happiness. So it's okay to have a gay flag and all that up in the school. Nothing wrong with teaching the thing about what's the problem with having the Bible being taught in school along with education? Because I'm pretty sure the Bible itself is an educational tool and some math properties in it too as well. Right, so it's okay to have No, I don't teach no Quran. They about hate. Quran teaches about hate. The Bible teaches about love, self-righteousness.
They don't like me because they jealous of me. What kind of sassy shit is that? The reason why you're not liked is probably because you are not likable. And don't get me wrong, you have two choices. The first choice is you don't have to change. You can continue being obnoxious, annoying, loud, and disrespectful, but the thing is, you can't get upset when people want you away from them. You cannot say that people are jealous of you because they don't want to be around you. Because this is the life that you chose. You chose to express yourself however you want. So now you're going to be by yourself. The second choice is when you say, maybe I have a problem and maybe I'll change. Maybe I won't be able to act however I want, but I'll have a community that backs me at the same time. So changing is up to you. You don't have to change, but you damn sure have to live with the consequences of your actions. And this is why it's very important as functional black men to stand up, because this is what femininity does to a culture. For decades, the black community has been run by women and it's been running straight into the ground. So if we want to fix the black community, we need black male leaders who are God-fearing to stand up so we can have a good community again. I hope this helped.
It most certainly did. It most certainly did.
Yeah, he did.
Surveillance video shows a dark green Subaru come to a stop in traffic on Chicago Avenue near Homan around 3:30 in the afternoon. A silver Cadillac quickly pulls up alongside the Subaru. That's when it appears the driver of the Cadillac exits her car. The video then shows the Subaru driver open her door and get out. Chicago police say a fight broke out in an apparent road rage incident and shots were fired by one of the drivers.
And I'm seeing someone not moving, laying in the street. And then I called 911 and said, I'm sure somebody just got shot.
Evidence markers covered at least 3 shell casings in the road near the cars. Dave Sartori happened to be driving by and heard the shots.
I mean, I'm guessing they were 10 to 20 feet away.
Pretty close range.
3 or 4 shots means they probably would have hit her 3 or 4 times.
The Chicago police say a 36-year-old woman was shot several times in the chest. She was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital where she later died. A 27-year-old woman is now in police custody. Police say a weapon was also recovered.
Someone on scene is doing CPR on the female victim.
And as officers caught up with the shooter, dispatch audio suggests the 27-year-old is a licensed firearm and concealed carry owner.
She does have a valid FOID, CCL, and DL.
So far, charges have not been filed, and the identity of the victim will be released by the medical examiner. Charlie DeMar, CBS News, Chicago.
Crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. Road rage turned into murder. Chirac, aka Chicago. What do you know? Are you shocked? You shouldn't be. This is a common occurrence in Chirac, aka Chicago. This happens all the time, and yet there's nothing being done about it. Absolutely nothing. And I'm gonna get into that here in a second because Mayor Brandon Johnson, the Democrat mayor of Chirac, said something that was quite interesting that I think you guys are going to want to hear. But here's some more coverage of that entire situation.
When does it say this all unfolded from what seemed to be a road rage incident between a group of people? Police tell us a physical fight broke out before shots were fired, leaving a woman hit multiple times and taken here to Mount Sinai Hospital, where she died.
I didn't assume it was shots until I got maybe like real close, like right here, and I'm seeing someone not moving, laying in the street.
A maze of crime tape and at least 3 evidence markers paint a violent picture that unfolded at Chicago and Homan Avenues in the city's Humboldt Park neighborhood.
Just screaming, crying, and hugging a dead body.
Detectives focusing their investigation on these 2 vehicles stopped in the middle of the street.
I heard people arguing, so when I turned around, I seen 2 girls, and they were just about to get physical. And then one girl was screaming, and another guy, and then the guy got in. Then I heard another lady's voice. Next thing you know, it's pop, 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 pop.
Police say it happened just after 3:30 Friday afternoon when a fight broke out in traffic. That's when investigators tell us a 27-year-old woman pulled out a gun and shot a 36-year-old woman multiple times in the chest. She later died at the hospital.
But right there in the middle of the street, in the middle of the day, that is very strange.
We need to change this, man. You know, this is too bad.
Police say the alleged shooter was taken into custody on scene where a gun was also recovered. Charges are...
What a darn shame, man. What a darn shame. And I'm not laughing at that situation, obviously. The clip I'm about to show you is just some of the most ridiculous stuff I've seen. What you're about to witness is Mayor Brandon Johnson, this gentleman here. He is the mayor of Chicago.
Come on, you guys.
Lori Lightfoot, which
I'm the mayor of
I'm sure you guys
Chicago.
remember her. Beetlejuice. But yeah, he is the current mayor of Chicago. And he got a question, and take a listen to his answer. Check it out.
Mayor Johnson, last week I sat in this very seat and I warned you that Juneteenth is historically one of the most violent days for whatever reason in the city of Chicago. You dismissed that. I asked you if Donald Trump, the president of the United States, if you would reach out to him for some kind of help or assistance. Again, you dismissed that. You said that you're the mayor, right? You said that Donald Trump was a massive failure or something to that effect. And now we have seen the results. 40 plus people shot, a dozen plus people murdered in the city of Chicago on Juneteenth, the weekend with the Obama Library.
You heard that right. On Juneteenth, over 40 people were shot and over a dozen of them died. One day. One day, one city. Okay? You heard that correctly.
All the other wonderful things happening. And the people of Chicago, the real people, are asking me if you are aware, if you're even paying attention, if you're the massive failure, perhaps you're the massive failure in this equation, and not the president, who, by the way, has
Thank you for your
the
question.
president of the United States has reached out again.
Well, thank you for your question.
Donald Trump has said
So essentially, what you're asking, I appreciate you taking some time. You said that real people of Chicago. Well, you asked two questions. No. Your first question was, just want to make sure that I'm repeating what you said.
Okay.
Your first question was centered around, and it's a very lousy attempt of what you're trying to conflate. But your first question was essentially around who takes responsibility, right? And then your second question is the help that's needed.
You're right, bud. Yep, only 8 blood types. There's 8 people on the boat. Yep, Google that, you guys in the chat. Bud's not lying on that. That is the truth. The Bible is true. Just read it. If you can't read, listen to the Bible. Get the audio Bible. It's true.
From the federal government. So I'll answer both of them. And so, look, it's very clear that as it relates to community safety, that the President of the United States of America has done nothing to help secure safe communities across this country. He's done nothing to do that. In fact, if you look specifically at his so-called black agenda, he has not delivered on one promise. You can't say that you believe in creating safe communities and then literally undermine all of the efforts that create safer communities. That's why he's a failure. It's not just he's just a failure. He's a doty individual, right? And so because of that, to answer your first question, the responsibility, of course, is on all of us. Here's the responsibility that I continue to take. Driving a community safety plan that removes guns from the streets of Chicago, Driving a community safety plan that actually invests in the communities that this president refuses to invest in. Driving a community safety plan that ensures that our local police department has the tools that they need to ultimately hold people accountable is why we have seen positive trends. Now, of course, there's more work to be done. That work is not going to be accomplished through social media. The failure of this administration is that he is more interested in tweeting or posting evil and inhumane projections of people and our humanity than he is actually willing to put money into the very communities that he ostensibly offers some degree of care for. But the fact of the matter is this: there's no.
This man's a full of shit, piece of shit, and he's lying. Trump offered to bring the National Guard, bring ICE, and both him and the governor to some, nah, we cool. And these people want to defund the police and defund ICE. So how are you going to stop crime and you have no law? You need law to stop crime. What the heck?
Administration in this city that has contributed more to keeping people safe. Is there more work to be done? Absolutely. Has this president undermined our work? He most certainly has. Again, this is an individual that is more interested in removing voting rights protections. He's more interested in calling for investigations or reducing the ability to investigate civil rights violations, right? It's not just simply about his abject failure. It's about his overwhelming interest in coordinating the upward transfer of wealth into the hands of the ultra-rich at the expense of everyday people. That's what he has failed to do, because, well, that's what he has done. His failure, of course, is in defunding the very efforts that ultimately can keep people safe.
Thank you, William. Question.
Thank you.
Question is simply this.
You've already asked 2 questions.
You see why I wanted to play that clip? The violence in Chicago is Trump's fault.
Trump's fault.
The violence is Trump's fault. Even though Trump has offered to help, offered to send in the troops, we clear this up. We can get this cleaned up.
Right. He took care of Memphis.
We can march through the streets and arrest all these criminals. Oh, yeah, with ease. He's offered to help to clean this up, and yet it is Trump's fault that it ain't cleaned up. When Mayor Brandon Johnson has denied any type of help, but somehow it's still Trump's fault.
Trump's fault.
You see how delusional these folks are? They will blame Trump for anything and everything under the sun. Anything and everything. I mean, you just heard it.
You heard it. It's Trump's fault.
I was voting for Obama. I was not so involved politically. I was so naive when he said there are no red states, there are no blue states, there's just the United States. I'm like, that's beautiful. That's right. The joke was on me.
The joke was on a lot of us.
Many of us, because, you know, we can't be so easily bought by a handsome guy with a nice smile who speaks well. I mean, look what's happening in New York with Mamdani. Mamdani is Obama number 2. He says all the right things. He looks good. He understands the power of social media. You know, he's a trust fund baby who is a failed rapper, but he knows what to say and he knows how to look. And he says the things like equality and everyone and this and that. And it works. And I mean, I can't believe how easy it works.
Right. DC and Memphis, they both happy that Trump came and cleaned it up. Everybody happy about it, but they ain't gonna report about it. But the people in Memphis and also in Washington, D.C. are definitely happy.
But action, and I think that's the contrast to Trump, because Trump can say all the wrong things. He has no filter, but his actions prove way louder than words. It's the opposite.
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you guys pulling up today. We got to talk about it, man, because the grift is real. I'm glad that people are starting to wake up to the grift of the Democrat Party, to the grift of Barack Obama, to the grift of Mamdani, because this young lady is absolutely right. Mamdani is Obama 2.0, another charismatic, fairly decent looking dude with a funny name, raised in a different country, who comes over to the United States and he says all the things that, broke people, that people don't want to work, people that despise America and what we stand for want to hear. Right. Of course they want the free stuff. Of course they want the facade of socialism. Of course they do. Because they don't know any better. And they hadn't actually spoken to anyone that actually lived under a socialist communist regime. And it makes it really easy, for, these people to come over here and tickle the ears of the ill-informed or the misinformed or the uninformed. And then they pass things that are going to be a net negative here in America. I'm at a point now to where, I regret my vote for Barack Obama back in 2008. I regretted it way back in like 2013, especially, when I finally started making a little bit of money, at my job, in corporate America. And then all of a sudden this Obamacare situation comes in and I'm getting robbed. Obamacare took 20% of my income. 20% of my income in a single family household. I was, married, raising 2 children, and I was being just pilfered. It was unbelievable. And right then and there is when I woke up and was like, what did I do? And what did I vote and support? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. We got a lot to get into today. Let's go.
Video alone shows me why nobody respects Black Americans. And we're divided by the people who are awake and the people who are okay with illusion. As long as you put a nice beat behind it, they're willing to go.
Yep.
They're willing to go.
Yep.
And I saw a video where somebody was like, talking about FBA and this is a good look for FBA. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
In fact, continuously supporting this man is anti-FBA. He could literally shoot a peacock with broken wings and allow it to piss and shit right on top of the Frederick Douglass, and y'all just would still stand with him. And y'all just showed up.
It's unfortunate, man, because you have so many people that are just brainwashed. They're just
right. It was mandated. It's about some no kings, but it was mandated.
And that's why, yesterday in my video,
right, the vaccines is mandated and your insurance was mandated because of Obama. Bogus, man. It's about some no kings, but yet they do mandating stuff. That's king shit. Democrat Party keep on saying no kings, but yet they mandate things. Kobe, you cannot go outside. That shit bogus as hell. You went outside, you had to go work. That was cool. But the people that wasn't working, man, they was living it up. And it's getting extra money. Insane.
Said it, and so many others have said it on this platform that, bro, there's 2 races, saved and unsaved. That's it. All this, believing that, Barack Obama was the Messiah, in my opinion, he is the reason we're in the situation we're in right now when it comes to race relations in our country. He kicked this thing off. And here it is. You got a group of people worth hundreds of millions of dollars in Michelle Obama. Still talking about racism and how they're being, it's like, what are we talking about?
He's in office twice.
Y'all are some of the wealthiest people in the country, most revered people in the country. And you're talking about being discriminated against? Come on, man, stop it. It's outrageous.
That you guys are going to continue to vote for these people, no matter what, no matter them saying that you don't know what a laptop is, no matter them continuously putting immigrants and everybody else in front of you, you're going to continue to support this person and this party. Y'all continuously allow them to abuse y'all, to make y'all look like the stupidest group of people in this country. I refuse to be a part of the shenanigans. I don't want nothing to do with it.
I'm with her 1000%. Stockholm Syndrome is a real thing.
At this point, everybody can't go. There's no saving. There's no saving the community, guys. It's over. The jig is up because it's way too many of us that have allowed the infiltration to take place and are comfortable with being on the Democrat plantation. We're comfortable. They have a lawn chair on that. They're okay. There's nothing you could tell me that's going to make me think less than the fact that they have spell over this community.
Not only do these people have lawn chairs on the Democrat plantation, you know what I'm saying? Anybody that defects, anybody that does not align with them 100%, they're basically ready to unalive you. Obviously, they're telling you that you can't come to the cookout. They don't want you around, so forth and so on, which I'm 100% okay with. I know that being one of the free-thinking people, here in the United States of America, hey, when it comes to, this sect of individuals in our country, hey, she and I, we're one of the few.
President Obama opened up his presidential library in Chicago. You needed an ID to attend the event. So if you're going to show up for President Obama's library, you got to present a voter ID, a photo ID to gain access to that event. But to vote in our elections, you don't have to do that. That makes no sense. It's crazy and it's stupid. And so the United States Senate has a responsibility to open up that floor, use Senate procedure, actually have a debate, have a filibustering debate. If Bernie Sanders wants to hold the floor of the U.S. Senate for 6 months, let him. Go ahead. Swap out the Depends, get some body armor, somebody slip you some whatever you need. Keep it going because it demonstrates the stupidity of your arguments.
Shout out to Byron Donalds. He's absolutely right.
To the people that want to visit the Obama Presidential Library, you do know that you have to show ID, right? Imagine that. Imagine fighting and protesting and holding up signs saying that Black people don't know how to get ID. They don't even know what an ID is. But meanwhile, when you want to go to his library, you have to show ID. I thought ID was oppression.
Does you get a discount if you're Illinois resident?
ID is oppression.
Chicago residents and
if
shit
it's
like that?
Talking about their new voter base, illegal immigrants. But American citizens, we should have ID. The hypocrisy is just astounding.
He's absolutely right. The hypocrisy is unreal. But at the same time, I guess we should get used to it. We should be used to the hypocrisy coming from the left. Because everything out of their mouth, especially, since I've been paying attention to politics, dating back, at this point now over 15 years or so, which is crazy because, I wish if I could go back and talk to myself, there'd be a couple of things that I converse with myself about. One of them, obviously is, about money investing and not putting yourself in debt. But the other thing would be about politics. Hey, make sure that you pay attention. Make sure that you do your research, due diligence, and understand who you support. And don't just support someone because you think they're cool or maybe they have the same amount of melanin as you. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, so many of us fell a victim, but I'm glad to see that it's brothers like him and so many others that, the skills have been removed and they're waking up and they're willing to speak out against this. That's the main thing. Because there's a lot of people that they've come to the same conclusion that we have, but they're afraid to speak.
Barack Obama's library was built in your neighborhood. He kicked you out, and now you're going to pay for it. So for all of the Barack Obama supporters, the ones that said that Barack Obama did such a great job for Black people when he was president twice, he essentially ruined the country. But that's another video. So the Barack Obama library has been built. The budget for it was $850 million. Barack Obama and his foundation said, hey, we pledge $450. So they pledged that they would give $450 million to the $850 million project. They deposited to date $1 million. And not only that, the budget blew up and now it's over $1 billion project. The building has been built. It's ugly. It's disgusting looking. And the thing that is the kicker is he's going to make you guys pay that deficit. So not only did he say he was going to give $450 and only gave $1 million, they still blew the budget. So even if the Barack Obama Foundation gave the $450 million that they promised to give, they still blew the budget. So they're still going to make the taxpayers on the South Side pay for it. We're talking about the South Side of Chicago. Where's the money? Where's the wealth on the South Side of Chicago? He threw y'all out and put this ugly building up, and he's going to make you pay for it.
It's crazy. On top of the fact that he displaced so many people, on top of the fact that there are minority contractors out there that still hadn't been paid, at least, to my knowledge, up to date to this video, they still hadn't been paid. And some of these companies are going out of business because they are hundreds of $1,000s behind. And they hadn't been paid by the Barack Obama Foundation for this hideous building. What's it, alleged Riffcraft building? How about that?
All the smoke. They talked to Obama about what the View talked to us about the fact that Trump is obsessed. They say, what's his obsession with you? And I thought that he handled his answer pretty well.
He's not obsessed.
Listen to Obama on Trump being obsessed with him.
We kiki it up and we laugh.
I was going to say, y'all remember when people were really upset at Obama for having the little kiki moment with Donald Trump?
Florida grown. I remember someone graduate with an art degree, didn't expect to have a job. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. No, you don't. See, I got two trades. I got a barber license, security license. Two good trades.
Fair, he's saying, well, that's because when I see him in person, things are completely different. Is that a fair take? Is that fair of a take for him to have?
Is that a fair take for him to have?
Yes.
That is a good question.
I'm too petty for
because,
that. I couldn't do it, and I love that Michelle Obama chooses to not do it.
Yeah, there's parts of me that when I hear that, I'm like, so what you mean? Y'all gonna fight?
Nah, but I'm not gonna sit there and laugh with you and kiki with you. It's gonna be so cold.
Grown men shouldn't use the term kiki. That is a term I'm assuming from the alphabet community, the whole quote unquote laugh and kiki and type stuff. I don't talk like that. I just don't think grown men should talk like that. That's crazy.
You're not gonna want to talk.
Like, you can't even say nothing to me.
Right.
I just don't feel like Donald Trump would have a problem saying anything to him.
Anyway.
Even if you know, by the way, by the way, Donald Trump just looking for a reason to lock up one of his political opponents anyway.
Yeah,
so all the power is on Trump's side. So I just didn't understand what he meant unless he was talking about the kiki they had. They called a few.
They try to lock him up with some bogus ass charges, bogus claims. Come on, man. Why not?
But to me, that goes both ways. You kikiing it.
Right, but what happened to Letitia James, Fannie Willis, Dr. Fauci? They was on TV all last few years, damn near every day on TV. None of them, now they quiet. I hear nothing from them. Cause now the spotlight on them, now they quiet. That's crazy. The spotlight on them, now they quiet.
His face too. By the way, Trump.
Kiki, and I can't stand it. Oh my gosh. Who talks like this? What men talk like this? None of my guys, none of my homies talk like this.
Been saying wild stuff about you,
crazy about my wife and all that. And your wife. Nah,
been saying wild stuff about you and your wife, but you was just right there, Kiki.
I'm not a damn fool. You the fool. Welcome to the chat. It doesn't matter if Dr. Fauci was in the White House or not. He was everywhere damn near. Period. And you know that. We all know that. So what you talking about? Why did Joe Biden pardon the man if he ain't did nothing wrong with the damn auto pen? Right, he's still free. He's still a billionaire, and he's the president. 2 more years to go. Let's get it.
You can't with him at the President Carter's funeral, so I can say it goes both ways. Don't neither one of y'all be having that energy in each other's face.
Yeah, but
at least from what we saw.
But I'm petty. But the way you talked about me, the way you talked about my wife, the way you talked about everything, nah, it's SMD when you see me. It is.
I mean, you like that anyway. That's a good time to you. But that's why the first lady didn't go to the.
Follow the facts. I do follow the facts. If you stay on my channel, I'm gonna show you the facts. I'm gonna talk to you with facts. But calling me dummy and a maggot, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a bigot. My name is Deontay. I'm an American. Welcome to the chat. Those Democrat words you're using. So do you know what a woman is? Calling me a maggot. Are you a faggot? Goof ass. Come on, man. Y'all do all these name calling behind the laptop. And reality and face-to-face, man, and man, y'all would not be saying these words to me, period. Y'all would not be talking like this. Keyboard warriors on the real. Keyboard warriors. Y'all call all these names. But in reality, y'all soft as nails, soft as tissue. You would not say that in my face in public. But it's cool though. That means I'm doing something right.
Funeral.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because she didn't
She
want
was very open about it.
to do the fake stuff.
So
when I heard President Obama say that, I'm like, well, the same thing can be said for you. Don't none of y'all be having that same energy. Like we saw President Biden say, "Welcome home" to Donald Trump. Like so it's just like, what are y'all? I didn't understand that part. Like that just sounds like something.
Well, that's what we know about these politicians, man. They get on TV and they say one thing, and then they get behind closed doors and chop it up with each other. We know this. I think we all know this. And when it comes to President Trump,
right, the Jim Crow laws, Democrat, and that's crazy that Chuck Schumer used the word Jim Crow 2.0. Like, dude, that's your party. Your party of that. Your party's a party of having people counting jelly beans, or if you had to think you need a job to vote or something like that, or on a piece of land to vote. Come on, Chuck, man. Democrat.
we do know is that prior to President Trump running for office, all of these people love this guy. He was obviously, he was a major donor to a lot of Democrats out there. He gave money, and I heard he gave money to both sides, but he gave money to both sides.
Cat for life, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy. I'm happy we got Trump. I voted for him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. I'm happy for Trump. And when Trump leave office, I'm gonna still be MAGA because I believe in America, American first policies, period. On the real. I'm not gonna vote on Democrat ever again in my life, period. Right, it's party of slavery. They never switched. The black people, the white people at the time, they went for the Democrat Party because they want the free shit. And other than that, they never switched. The Democrat Party still the KKK, still the name, Democrat, KKK. That's it. Republican Party started with 23 black men. 23 black men. The Republican Party.
They love this guy. I mean, we saw all these, mainstream media platforms. They love the Donald. Prior to him deciding to run for office and to run as a Republican,
right? He called it a racial jungle.
We're saving the country from the
communists, want his kids to be mixed.
Essentially, even way back when, the first time, he couldn't tell you that he was running to save us from the communists, but we know that's what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get so high up in America,
right,
and you got the kind of money
Black
where
Republicans,
politicians will listen to you, they'll pick up your phone call when you call them. You don't get to $1 billion and not know what's actually going on in the direction of the nation. That's how you keep your billions. So this dude finally got to a point where he's like, we got to do something about this. We got to do something about this. And we understand based off of today, I mean, those way back when, 2008, 2012, you probably didn't know this about Obama, but we know today that Obama was the spearhead of this. He was the one that helped fast track.
Okay, then, chat. Okay, for all you liberals and Democrats in the chat, what are the Democrats' policies? What are their plans from now into 2028? What are their plans? What are the Democratic Party plans? What's their policies right now? What are their policies going to help America be great again? Or great? What's their policies? We already know Trump bad. They're going to say Trump bad. What else? They don't got no policies. They got nothing to run on but Trump bad.
This, you know what I'm saying? This direction of the nation. It wouldn't surprise me one bit, if the DSA was funding Barack Obama. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if we found this out.
All they have and all they got, they're consummate victims. Michelle puts out this podcast with our ugly brother. He looked like he gay. I don't know for sure that he's gay. How do you right? So she up there with him, he looks like, this is a train wreck. And it's probably time for us to write the Obamas off. Because when it comes down to it, something seriously wrong with these people. They obviously are not Christian people. I haven't seen Barack Obama in a church since he left the White House. They never speak about Christ. They never speak about doing any good. They are the most negative, victimized, entitled people I've ever seen in my life. And they are a very bad example for your children. If you can't become president,
right, bro. He said that he wanted his kids to be in a racial jungle. Joe Biden is the most racist person there is. And the man was in Congress, in power, in the Senate for 50 years. Then in 50 years, this man was being corrupt since the whole entire time. And they still voted him in. Crazy. Crazy.
A year, get an opportunity to go to an Ivy League school, be chauffeured around everywhere, private planes everywhere, waited on hand and foot everywhere. You can do that and still talk ill of this country, but no one has done anything to hurt you.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. And it trickles down to a certain amount of people, too, to a certain sect of people, more or less. Because they're like, man, look at the Obamas, man. If they're out here, they're victims. And Michelle Obama, who's worth $200 million or so, maybe 400 million, I'm not 100% sure. But if that is the case and they can be victims, they basically just open the door for everybody else to be victims and everybody else to be, or to feel like they're being mistreated. I mean, it's ridiculous, man.
I think those conservative conversations that Brandon Tatum been having with Stephen A. Smith is starting to rub off on him. He's now coming to terms in the understanding of what the real motives of these politicians are. It is purely about lining their pockets.
I'll confess something to y'all. Clinton was a lawyer in Arkansas. Grew up poor, relatively broke. How him and the Clinton Foundation is worth hundreds of millions of dollars beats me.
They've been doing it
Barack
for years.
Obama was a community organizer who became the president of the United States. And last time I checked, that salary ain't over $450,000, if I remember correctly. I got to double check that.
They're going to try to say it was book deals, Stephen A.
How do you depart from office? You worth over $200 million?
Ain't no book deal worth $200 million.
It's amazing to me how these politicians go into office and you're sworn to serve the American people. It's called service, but somehow, some way, they always depart exponentially richer than when they arrive.
I mean, Stephen A. Smith, it's pretty obvious, man. It's called corruption. I mean, the left has been doing this for years, man. I mean, money laundering schemes, payoffs, kickbacks for deals that they made during office, all paid after they get out of office. And it ain't just the left. And I don't want to hear y'all hollering and scream, oh, man, it's book deals and speaking engagements. Man, the man is worth $200 million. There ain't enough speaking engagements and book deals to equate all the way up to $200 million, man. Stop it. Thanks. Y'all.
The first 23 black members of Congress were all Republicans. This group was elected during the Reconstruction era following the Civil War, comprising 20 members in the House of Representatives and 2 in Senate. The first black Democrat elected in Congress, Arthur Mitchell, was not elected until 1935.
Black Messiah and the rest of y'all Democrats, as well as Republicans, are corrupt, and you're taking we the people's money and lining your pockets while selling out our whole entire country.
He's absolutely right. And I'm glad that he cleaned it up and said that it's not just the Democrats, because we see this. You've seen MGT and so many others. They get in the office, they not worth a whole lot. They come out and they balling.
Balling.
It's the craziest thing ever, man. And that's why, you get these people on TV and they're like, oh, Trump's lining his pockets and this and the third. First off, Trump got in office with $1 billion, but he ain't doing nothing. If he is lining his pockets, he ain't doing nothing different than anybody else.
Let me explain.
And if you got that type of smoke for President Trump, you better have that smoke for Clinton. You better have that smoke for the Bushes. You better have that smoke, for your Messiah, Barack Obama, Joe Biden. And the list goes on, because it seems like that's what it is when you get into politics. And that's a lot of the reason why a lot of people want to get into politics, because even if you just make it in as a representative, the likelihood of you coming out of being a U.S. representative, a millionaire, quasi-multi-millionaire, is pretty dang on high. The crazy thing is that we understand that most of these people are bought and paid for. And that's a lot of the reason why nothing actually gets accomplished in politics. It's sad, man. It's sad. It really is. But, it is what it is. That is the state of politics in the United States of America. And I would assume that it's
Plain, because by the end
coming from cable news. It's coming now. Personally, I don't think the biggest political stories are coming from cable news. It's coming more from people's phone these days. Not because every viral clip is right. Some of them just aren't. But because people who used to agree on everything just do not anymore. Today's clips aren't connected because they came from the same creator. They're connected because they all ask the same question from different angles. Who gets to decide what's true, what's acceptable to say, and what gets dismissed before the conversation even gets started? Will somebody please stand up and let me know that?
I keep saying this, that, and the third in my comment section, so I'm just going to say it. You are not African American. Yeah, I said it, but before you run to the comment section, let me explain, because by the end of this, you will have a completely new perspective about the term African American. If you're new here, we just don't make claims without backing them up with evidence. So there are 3 big reasons why I can confidently say you're not African American. But before I tell you, let's just use a little common sense. Let's just say you look at the state of America and you think, I'm done with this. I'm going back to my roots. So you take a little DNA test and book a one-way flight to the country with the largest percentage of your DNA. But when you hop off the plane and set foot in that African country, you realize that that DNA test did not give you one name or village for you to reach out to. Now, I'm sure that the African people in whatever country you choose to go to will be hospitable, but they will all tell you that you are not African. But what about the evidence? Because I did say we back up on claims around here. So here are the 3 reasons I can say with confidence that you are not African American. The third one's gonna mess you up the most. Number 1, that DNA test you just took can't connect you to a single living person on that continent. And that's not a coincidence. You see, when Africans came among the indigenous people, all you had was what someone whispered to the next person before they died. My mother used to tell us that our grandfather used to say he was Cherokee, and I believed her, but she didn't have a document or paper trail because they didn't give enslaved people paper trails. All they had was each other's word. And now the history books want you to believe their narrative instead of your own family tree. Number 2, and this is where it starts to get crazy. They were already here. You see, when colonizers came over to the Americas, they wrote down what they saw. And they said that they saw dark-skinned, melanated people thriving on this land way before slavery. That's not a theory. That's in their records. But here's what they don't teach you in school. In addition to bringing slaves from Africa, they also enslaved the indigenous people who were already here. So after the 250 plus years of slavery, our lineage became blended with some Africans and the indigenous people. Now I need you to stay with me for number 3, because this is the most important one. But before I tell you, if you like what you're learning, go ahead and like the video and follow if you want to see more posts like this. All right, number 3, colonizers changed our family's names, which helped confuse our lineage. When Africans arrived on this soil, slave traders renamed them and gave them their own European names and reclassified their lineage. Because when you see someone as property, you don't preserve their identity. You erase it and replace it with yours. They didn't just change what people were called. They deliberately changed family trees so no one could easily trace back where they came from and who they actually were. Your last name right now might not be your ancestors' family name. It might be the name of whoever they worked for or the family they married into. They renamed and reclassified many of your ancestors to make them
Right, that's crazy because my father's last name is Griffin and my last name is Lockett. And that shows you with Lockhart, Locksmith, European last name. And my grandma, she was born here in America, in Mississippi, 1929. So yeah. 1929. My grandma, Greenwood, Mississippi.
Get who they are. And we are the children of their grandchildren. So no wonder why some of us are confused, because the odds are your ancestors were here before this country was even named America. And they were the foundation who built America. So that's why you're probably not African. You're a foundational Black American, whether you like it or not. So if you want to go deeper and learn more about foundational Black American legacy, I want to invite you to our private community called The Porch. For generations, The Porch has been where we We as a people shared stories, looked out for each other, and passed down what mattered. I built the online version of that with live meetups, guest speakers, and community discussions. It's a space where people who are serious about this history come together, learn together, and grow in their communities. If that sounds like where you belong, click the link in my bio and learn more. I can't wait to see you take a seat on the porch.
As always, I will have their information, the information to each and every last one of these clips inside of the pinned comment. Now, whether you agree with her completely or reject what she's saying, I want you to notice something first. She's not asking for permission to question a historical narrative, right? She's assuming she's allowed to. That's actually the interesting part. We've reached a point where challenging an accepted story or, history is often treated as more offensive than simply being wrong. Now, here's Wildland. If someone makes historical claims, those claims should be tested against evidence. That's how history works. Evidence matters. But there's also something unhealthy about creating an environment where people feel like certain questions are automatically off limits. Those are two completely different conversations. One is the claim true? The other is, should people even be allowed to ask this? Those shouldn't be confused, because once questioning becomes illegal, in the court of public opinion, curiosity becomes a political act, in a sense. That's a strange place for this country to be. So salute to this woman for providing this information and allowing us to be able to go do our research. And but speaking of people saying the quiet part, actually, scratch that. Let's look at someone who said the loud part.
So when you see like white people in your neighborhood,
very disturbing how comfortable they are. A little uncomfortable, to me, for Caucasians to be more comfortable than I am in my own neighborhood.
Wow. And why is that, Queen?
It just feels like I don't know, like they have a certain air, or just doesn't feel nice to not feel as comfortable in your neighborhood as you should. When it's your home, it should be your safe space. But when it starts to feel like Lower Manhattan or Upper West Side, East Side kind of thing, where you see a lot of pale face, comfortably walking in your neighborhood, it doesn't feel so much like home anymore.
So when you see like white,
oh wow! Imagine hearing this with the racist reverse.
Maybe reverse. Maybe an uproar.
Don't imagine a reaction. Imagine the speed before the sentence even finished. Headlines would already be written. That's what catches my attention, right? Not because I think every uncomfortable feeling makes someone evil, although this is really racist in my opinion. People feel what they want to feel. It's the inconsistency, right? Some racial generalizations get explained, others get condemned. If we're trying to build a society where people are judged as individuals, the standard can't keep changing depending on who's talking.
What?
Otherwise, we're not replacing prejudice. We're just rotating who gets excused for it. It's ridiculous. And that's where politics decide to go ahead and walk inside of their room.
I'm sorry, but if you're going to have a Democrat page and only post Trump, what's the point? It should be a Trump fan page at that point. I'll link it right here. The Democrat page. I challenge everyone to go on their TikTok account, and out of the 10 posts, find one video on why you should be a Democrat, how Democrats are saving America, and currently what they're doing to save America. Or them making fun of Trump and Republicans. I don't know, it's a little concerning for a party to have a political page but only talk about their opponent's side. And they can't mention one thing they're doing that's good.
What is it?
One thing they're going to do to save America.
What you gonna do, Democrats?
Isn't that a little concerning?
Just a little bit, right? Now, one thing I think political consultants...
I'm sorry, but if you're going to have a Democrat page...
Political consultants underestimate. People know when they're being talked to. And they definitely know when they're being talked down to, all right? Voters aren't spreadsheets. They're not demographics with software updates every election cycle. If someone feels ignored for years, you don't fix that with a slogan 2 months before November. You fix it by actually addressing the issue they cared about the first time they mentioned it. That's what the left seem to forget. And that's why these clips spread like this.
Yep.
Not because everyone agrees. I do. because they sound like frustration instead of marketing. Now, there's a difference. Now, let's swing from frustration to just confusion.
Hey, Trumpers, if America is so fucking great, why the fuck you need those big ass guns everywhere you go? Like, why? You don't take no machine gun or no motherfucking assault rifle to shoot a fucking deer? I'm confused. Trumpers, if America is so great, why y'all always fucking bad? Y'all always angry about something. Y'all, it's always something. If America is so fucking great, like, don't you realize this is America? The whole America has been beefing since civil rights, since the suffrage movement, since the freedom of fucking slaves. This is America, dumbass. Why you need those big ass guns to shoot?
Well, because you got all these damn illegals in here who don't care about America, who don't respect the Constitution, who don't care about us as individuals who are in America. They don't care about us. They are not trying to seek asylum, not all of them. Most of the people that came across that border was mostly men and repeat offenders. They came to bogus the first time, they come back again the second, third time. After a while, I was like, no, we got to tighten this up. And that's what's going on. What's going to happen is we allow these Muslims coming in and trying to take over. We can't have that at all. Respect the Constitution, man. Respect the Bible.
Kids at schools to shoot people while they praise God at fucking church. If America is so good, why y'all need those big ass guns? Hey, Trumpers, if America...
Tell that to the Democrats, them libtards. Those are the ones going to schools and churches shooting up. That's the left. They ain't the right.
It's so fucking...
I always find arguments like this pretty interesting, right? If America is great, why do people own guns? Those aren't actually opposite ideas. Believing your rights matter doesn't require believing people are perfect. In fact, most rights exist because people aren't. Free speech.
Right, now guns' rights is basically make sure the government don't overpower us. That's period. It's for the government. And it's also it's good for hunting and all that, but it's really for the government can't go against us.
Due process, private property, self-defense. Those ideas weren't built for ideal conditions. They were built for imperfect human beings. You don't buy a fire extinguisher because your house is already on fire. You buy one because you hope it never is.
Right.
You know, that's a much stronger argument than pretending danger doesn't exist. Now, speaking of money.
So June 29th through July 3rd, people are taking their money out of their banks. What is this? It's a bank run. This nation only speaks money. Leadership is out the window. Politics are out the window. Logical and critical thinking is out the window. Right now, millions of Americans have already filed tax exempt, and we encourage more people to take action. But now it's time to stack the impact. June 29th through July 3rd, we're taking our money out of the bank. We're not just taking it out of the banks for a short period of time.
Because, see, I'm coming with facts before I just call you names. That's what I'm doing. I'm coming with facts, showing you facts, telling you facts. I'm not just name calling you right off the bat just because I can name calling you. You know what I'm saying? Jacob, I'm showing you guys facts and I'm speaking facts. So I'm not just name calling you.
We're moving our funds. Credit unions and small local banks will see an increase. These banks use your money to invest and loan out to corporations.
There's zero facts not being presented or being heard. Why are you still in the chat? So now you block, Jacob. You can go ahead and go. What's the point of being in the chat? You're not learning nothing, not getting nothing out of it. Just want to be compatible. Makes no sense.
See, these corporations, they purchase politicians. And those politicians you thought you voted for, they make policies that are detrimental to the people in your community. It's truly time to drive a wedge between your resources, this federal government, and these banks. File tax exempt and join us June 29th to July 3rd for a bank run. Let's lock in.
calls for bank runs always sound dramatic. Reality is usually just way less cinematic. If someone's goal is changing public policy, there are a lot of ways to pressure elected officials. Hurting ordinary people's financial confidence isn't usually the shortcut people think it is.
The man been in the chat for
because systems don't care.
about 5 to 10 minutes saying the same stupid shit. What's the point?
Started the panic, they just react to the panic, right? Sometimes the loudest protest ends up landing on the people who never made the decision in the first place. Black out the system. The hell? But these ideas are crazy. Which brings us to the last clip. And honestly, I think this one is definitely worth remembering.
Being a victim is very profitable today. There's a greater payoff for some people to do that rather than to actually apply themselves to a skill, discover what God-given gifts they've been given, because everyone has been given some God-given gifts, usually more than one. But it's easier to sort of rest on the laurels of, if I complain enough, if I join this group enough, if I act, bliggity enough, I said what I said, if I engage in all of this sort of nefarious activity and pretend that I'm suffering the same kinds of things that people in Frederick Douglass's era suffered, then I'm going to get free stuff. I'm going to get a break when I screw up. I'm going to be able to screw up as much as I want to and not suffer any consequences. I think there's a couple things that are really at play and kind of at the foundation of that mentality, that where the gap is ignored, the gap where Black people were thriving, Black people were homeowners, Black people were getting married, having children, successful families. They were God-fearing. They were going to church, and not just going to church. They were living out the gospel of Jesus Christ. Like, they were walking in authority in the earth, right? But there's a couple things that are at play. There's no fear of God. There's no fear of consequences. We are now in, for the very first time, the very first fatherless generation who are now young adults, and they were all raised by women who hate men. This has never happened before. And it is this, it's this ethnicity where it is the most prevalent and where it is the most pronounced. And I believe that sort of the cycle that people keep sort of going in and out of, right? Where there's government dependency, where there's way too many women raising boys, and I'm talking about like a gaggle of geese, like a hen house.
Now, listen to what she places responsibility on: skills, on discipline, on family, and on faith. That's a very, very different message than telling someone their future has already been decided by forces they can never overcome. One message says, someone else writes your story. The other says, pick up the pen. Now, history matters.
Today, on the Vince Ellison Show. Yeah, y'all, we got to talk about wholeflation again. I did a show on wholeflation about a year ago, and it just won't let go. So we got to talk about these, reason why Black women believe it's all right to fight in public and do the stuff that they do. Wholeflation is back, and I think it's gone up. So we're going to talk about that today on the Vince Ellison Show.
Shaking your ass. All in the grocery store, shaking your ass. In the middle of the street, shaking your ass. Please get somewhere and sit your ass down. That's right.
All right, let's get this thing started. Wholeflation. What is wholeflation, you say, Vince? Well, wholeflation is a word that's kind of a ghetto term that is describing the women of today. Let me explain. Back in the day, like when my daddy got married, a woman's value was sky high. And the man's value was kind of low. My mother had never been married. My mother had no children. My mother was beautiful. My mother was thin. I mean, she was a catch. My father, on the other hand, my dad was a sharecropper. And he was starting out. And he got this beautiful, beautiful woman. So my mama's here. My dad is here. My dad had to elevate himself to come up with my mama. They elevated together.
Okay, I see what you're saying, man.
So that's the problem.
You're right.
But now we got wholeflation. What is wholeflation? Well, the woman wants to have 2 or 3, 4 children by 4 different guys. She wants to be overweight. She wants to have no money. She wants to, look like a hood rat. But she wanna be here, and she wants to marry a man up here that's making $300,000-$400,000 a year to take care of her. So her value has gone down. His has gone up. That's wholeflation. In my mom and daddy's time, her value was up, his was down. That was properflation. Now it's this way. All right? So we got these women out here. And I mean, whew. They've gotten so wretched that you can't turn on TikTok or Instagram, Facebook without seeing them fighting. Watch out. I need my shoes. Let me get my shoes. What's the matter? See right here. Let's go. That's a shame. It's gotten so bad that it's got a word for it called black fatigue. It's so bad that people that we used to call ghetto are tired of these people. Ghetto people are tired of getting black fatigue. I said, well, that's something, because I look at the people talking about black fatigue in the black community, and they usually, 20 years ago, they would be considered ghetto. Now they say these people are more ghetto than they've ever been. But the question, you get to the question, when did black women start thinking it was okay to fight in public or to fight at all? Damn, you stick our bonnet on?
So this is the current depiction of black women that's being pushed out there into the world. I've seen this post recently on Instagram of this depiction of supposedly the current state of black women. We are the Section 8 house, low income, loud, boisterous, low class, ratchet, ghetto, ignorant, lace front, big lash wearing, lack of self-respect, and undignified women of the world. And this image is being pushed out there and generalizing all black women into this. Now, are there groups of women who wear lace fronts and lashes? Yes. Are there groups of women who carry themselves in, a less admirable way? Yes. But to generalize all Black women and say that there's not a narrative and an agenda being pushed.
But you got female boxers now. And they just be in the grocery stores in the street. I mean, they just be throwing hands and wilding out, man. I think it came from hip hop culture. You started out Lil Kim and Salt and Pepper talking, let's talk about SEX. Push it real good. Oh, then you had Foxy Brown. She was nasty back in the 90s. She was in the 90s. This is 90s rap. Y'all might not know about these, but it's old 90s rap. And then you had Eve. Eve was kind of raunchy with Rough Riders. She was the Rough Rider Def Jam crew. And then you had this group called BWP. B Words with Problems. They were real bad. Now, these were 90s people. They were the precursors of what we have now. So you guys looking at a problem that's over 30 years old, getting close to be 40 years old. This just didn't start out. So you little 20-year-olds, y'all didn't have a chance. I saw it coming and it scared me. I said, man, I got a reference to America that was sane. These children being born now, they're not going to have any reference to a sane America. I said that at the time. And it was true. You guys have no reference to America without this poison. And it's showing. This is why now you're so wretched, you're so ghetto, you're so disrespectful. That's why you look the way you do. No elegance, no class, and it's inflation. Y'all get mad at me all you want to. I really don't care. Because we've got to a point in America where we're allowing the lower class people to determine the culture of the whole nation. At one time, people looked at the higher culture and said, we want to elevate to that. Now the higher culture is trying to lower itself to the street culture. You got even upper class children trying to dress like hoods and thugs.
Right.
Basketball players looking like hoods and thugs. Y'all got millions of dollars. You saw them on the street, you think that they were gang members. Athletes with millions of dollars looking like gang members. And then when somebody treat them disrespectfully, man, you're racist, man. You're racist. No, man, you look like a thug. I'm gonna treat you like a thug. I mean, look, man, I don't like snakes, right? Because every time when I was a little boy, every time I saw a snake on television, he was killing somebody. So, in my mind, snake equals danger. Snake, run. Now, 99% of snakes in the wild are non-poisonous. You think I care about that? I don't like them. Why? My brain has been processed to dislike them. Just dislike them. My brain has been processed to dislike them. So you got black men. You see thugs on the street, and you see black women, right? Acting like hoes. You see what a hoe look like on TV, okay? You see what one look like. And then there's a black woman that look like a hoe. You see a young black boy, you know what a thug look like on TV, and see a young black boy that look like a thug. You're going to have the same response to him. And then when you treat them like that, you say, oh, you racist. No, I'm not, man. It's pattern recognition. You look and act like a hoe. So I'm going to assume that you are one. You look and act like a thug, so I'm going to assume that you are one. Now, if you don't want me to treat you like that, don't look like that. Go to the gym. Get your weight down. There's nothing wrong with getting all that weave out your hair and wearing a nice, pretty short haircut. Fix your hair. Come on now. Wait until you get married to have children. And if you don't have children by 4 or 5 different guys, have all your children by one dude and try to marry him if he'll marry you. Go to church. Be a chaste woman.
Okay, mentally me. Okay.
Don't put on a disguise. There's nothing wrong with making yourself up. But don't put on so much makeup and weave and stuff that if you took it all off, nobody would know you. Wear nice clothes. You don't have to, every time you go put on some clothes, you got to have your stomach out, your belly out, and your butt cheeks showing, and your breasts all out. Come on now. Before the American Revolution, our founding fathers considered themselves slaves of the empire. And then Thomas Jefferson read John Locke. And he said that our freedom was not given us by the king. It was an unalienable right given us by God. It is irrevocable, non-transferable, and unsellable. The founders understood that. And this is why, at the end of the Declaration of Independence, they put, we pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. They said they would die before they be slaves. I won't just die before I be a slave. I'll kill before I be one. So all y'all out there to say you have no choice, but the founders showed you. It's Patrick Henry that said, give me liberty or give me death. And on that fateful night when George Washington had to cross the Delaware River in the ice and the snow, or the American Revolution would be lost, they said, General, what are the passwords? He said, victory or death. Either we're successful tonight or we all die. That's the idea of a free man. And I am a free man. So all you out there that believes that someone has to give you your freedom, you're admitting that you're a slave. If you come try to take my freedom away, God has given me the right to defend myself. And I got two things that'll get you off of me. That is Jesus and my 38. Slave is a choice. I know I'm wasting my damn time again. I don't know why I keep trying. Maybe I'm a fool. I'm just trying to help. If you want that high-valued man that you're looking for, you got to look like a high-valued woman. Now, that's why you'll never see none of these hoish rappers, except for maybe one or two, get picked up by high-valued men. Eve wasn't run off. Eve wasn't run off. Okay? Get picked up by high-valued men. Eve wasn't run off. Eve wasn't run off, okay? She straightened herself up. She married some rich guy. And Meg Stein tried to get with some basketball player. Well, okay, I can't think the dude's name, but he finally let her go. He said, hell no, I can't deal with this right here. Most of the time, you're going to be like Cardi B. You're going to have to get with some old thug athlete like she got, who got her pregnant and left her. Or you're going to be with somebody like Offset to keep going to jail. Hell, even Rihanna ended up marrying A$AP Rocky. They're going to stay in jail. She a billionaire. She ended up with that son. This is ignorance. Nasty women get nasty men. Chaste women get chaste men. You knew what was there? Something was wrong with Whitney Houston when she ended up with Bobby Brown. She couldn't hide it no longer. It will be revealed. So hopeflation is a real thing. It's a bad thing. And I'm telling good men out there, good men that are making money, that believe in Christ, don't try to get involved in Operation Save a Hoe. Waste your time. You can't change them. Now they can change themselves. They can go to Christ and they can change themselves, and you can show them grace if they've changed and renew their mind. But if you catch them like that, if you see them like that, Don't waste your time, bro. I'm telling you now. She gonna have your ass locked up in jail for something. They're the first ones to call the police on you too. Lie on you to call the police. Lie on you and get you locked up. Will lie on you and get you locked up. Have you lose your job, get locked up, have to pay $1,000 for a lawyer to get out of the lie. Man, you don't want those problems, Flair. I'm telling you, leave them hoflation women alone. One or two things happen if she looked like a hoe. She's either a hoe or she has no self-awareness. You got to question her judgment. Very bad judgment. If you see her, she's looking to act like that, and she ain't, you got to say, no, you ain't got good sense. There's something wrong up here with you, you know? Her awareness is off. That's a red flag, too. She'll embarrass you for the rest of your life. I'm just giving you my advice, young man. So if you're one of those guys that is making six figures, leave them hoflation women alone. No, they're gonna try to make you a trick or a simp. They're not gonna appreciate you. They'll get on the phone and say, I done found me a trick. I done found me a simp. I'm telling you now, go to church. A lot of them in church now, but still some good ones in church, okay? Go to church. Check her out. I can tell you all, you know what a good woman looks like. Hell, I ain't got to tell you nothing. If you look at her and your spider senses say, "Oh," don't second guess yourself. She's probably like the neighborhood bicycle. Everybody's had a ride, and you don't want to bring that home to your mom and your daddy. Believe me, if you've been raised right, you'll see right through it. So I'm telling you, hoflation women, to let this whole ideology go. If you're seeing these rappers do it, that means you don't do it. If you want to catch one of these good men, and I hope that you do, I'm telling you how to do it. And your life will be great. You can be chaste. You can be elegant. You can be beautiful. You can be godly. You can be all of that. There are those out there. My mother was one. My great-grandmother was one. My sisters are. Beautiful, elegant women. My daughters are. My sisters-in-laws are. They're out there. They're everywhere. And I want you to go online, stop looking at the rappers and looking at the hip-hop artists, and just Google something like, show me beautiful, elegant women, black and white, and learn from that. It's just that easy. So I have faith in you. And I have faith that you're going to better your lives. And if you don't want to better your lives, good men stay away from them. Let the rappers and let the hoflation women just, get together and end up going to jail along with all their children. So that's what's going to end up happening. And you stay in the suburbs and do great things. And we're going to keep rising because I'm here to wake you up. Hope I did you some good here today. So join me again for another edition of the Vince Everett Ellison Show.
I'm April Chapman.
And I'm Vince Everett Ellison. There's a victim today on the Vince Everett Ellison Show. We have the World Cup here in North America. Canada, United States, and America is hosting the World Cup. And Europeans and people from all over the world are coming here. And, of course, they are finding out that everything they've been told by the Democrats about America and Hollywood about America is a lie. They're finding that America is this great, beautiful country, and they're telling black people especially, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And they are telling them about the real America, the America that I know. And we're going to talk about how Europeans have found out they've been lied to about this great nation today on the Vince Everett Ellison Show. I travel from coast to coast, state to state. I do a lot of speaking engagements. I go to college campuses. The only mean people I ever meet are kind of on college campuses, and they liberals. Liberals is the meanest jokers in the world. I mean, they done tried to kill Donald Trump 100 times. They tried to blow up the cage fighting event, the other day at the White House. Just horrible people, right? But when I'm just out and about doing my thing, traveling, I meet nothing but good people. I'm not isolated. So what these black Democrats tell me about America, I have found to be a lie because I'm not isolated. I travel. I don't think there's a state holiday that I haven't been to, especially in the last 4 or 5 years. I've been to Maine, I've been to Florida, I've been to North Carolina.
I'm glad he mentioned that because most of these people that's be on these chats and defending Israel or Iran or just any other country, it doesn't matter. Half these people have been over there. Or you watch the news from these other countries. Even though the news not going to tell you everything bad about their country, but at the same time, nobody don't do no research. They've never lived over in Haiti, never lived over in Jamaica, never lived in Mexico, but they out here just tripping. If you live in America, American first. Take care of home, and then you can help out others. I don't understand how y'all want this socialism stuff to be pushed. It should not be pushed in America at all. It didn't work in other countries, not going to work here. Period.
South Carolina, California, Oregon, Washington, Utah, Idaho, you name it, I've been there. And I go there many times to go to college campuses and to give speeches and lectures at these college campuses. And the only people that I meet that might be mean are a bunch of leftists who are just sick in the head.
It's gonna take us stopping fucking work, okay? Do you guys get that? Like, we have to fucking strike. We have to fucking stop paying our bills. We have to stop fucking living this insanity. I'm not okay.
Black people in DC, get your and take care of them police officers like they should have been taken care of 50 years ago.
This Islamophobe white guy, I'm driving, minding my own business. Come over here. I'm driving, minding my own business, right? This is recorded, right?
Yep, it's recorded. Over here.
So if you back him up because he's white,
come here.
You're gonna pay for it.
Communist. Tell you something, man. You are not welcome in this island. October 7th, you hater. Hey, Mr. Mandandy, can I talk to you? Go home.
Well, guys, he's bad, and New York City is doomed.
What is this shape with 4 sides called? I don't know. I haven't done something with shapes since like 5th grade. I know what shapes have 4 sides, but I don't know the name for it. Name 3 countries besides.
Why is he wearing a mask? Really? You get the mask on, talking with the mask down. If you're gonna put it on, put it on. Insane.
The USA.
Alabama.
That's 1.
New Mexico.
2.
And Connecticut.
3. What is 1/4 plus 2 dimes? 1/4 plus. How much money is that? That's 65 cents. Is it? 65 cents? Who the first president of the USA was? George Floyd. How many inches are 2 feet?
Wow.
I don't know. Around how many inches? If you had to guess. 5?
But just the average rank and file American citizen, when I'm out and about, oh no, everybody's nice. These Europeans who are coming from all over the world for the World Cup are finding the same thing about America. They look on television, oh boy, you let the press tell you, America is the worst place in the whole world. Nope, the Europeans are coming and they're finding it out for themselves. You can hear some of the stuff they're talking about right here.
Thanks so much. You're welcome.
Oh! That real. Oh! That's it right there. Hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, where you put that? 10.
Oh. Yo, ho.
Look at the size of that fucker.
Look at this. A club sandwich. Look at that. I've already eaten half the fries of it. Massive. It's actually like 2 full sandwiches.
too much. I think we overrun it, y'all. This is massive. Check into
Like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Name is Beyonce.
Blowing up my bottom. I love being in America. I love American cars. I love American roads. I all got one pancake. That's one pancake. This is one pancake? Yeah, welcome to America. You know, I used to be little like you.
And that's not even the biggest
Thanks so much. You're welcome. So heavy. It's so heavy. Why is it so heavy?
I never feel that.
Yeah. You want one too?
I can go through this 1,000 times. This is normal here.
You see that, chat? Y'all see that, man? See how blessed we are? These are not paid actors. These are people from overseas. You know what I'm saying? We get unlimited supply of stuff, man. They don't have that. It's obvious. You see it.
Completely normal, man.
How many cereal brands y'all got?
Oh, a lot.
We got like 4.
There's a pub in the supermarket. He is blown away that Harris Teeter has a pub. Life is definitely not real.
I just want to experience what it's going to feel like to actually walk into the stadium. It's like stepping into a fridge. This place is absolutely insane. Looking, there's like 60 different petrol pubs.
It's like Disney.
My new favourite shop ever.
Have the craziest things going on. I'm in an American school bus right now, and it looks like some movie. What? Check out all that meat. Again, super American to have it all out like this.
Free plastic bags is crazy. We haven't had that in Australia for like 10 years.
For the last hour, well, I mean,
Wow.
it's so good.
Now, see, that's why I travel. I remember I went to London, and I was amazed at how beautiful the city was. I was amazed at how nice the weather was. I was amazed that when I was there were no flies and no bugs there. They didn't have screens on their windows, and the doors were wide open, even though they had food, and they had ice cream, and they had pastries. And I'm saying, hey, man, you guys going to be concerned about there are no screens. I mean, where are the bugs? There are no bugs here. I learned that from traveling. You find out things when you travel that are kind of generic to your senses that other people might not find interesting at all. No bugs in London blew my mind in June because I'm here in the South in June and I'm fighting mosquitoes and gnats and flies all the time. So people hear about the racism and the violence and the hatred of America. And of course, when you come here, you're kind of afraid. Now, don't get this twisted. You go into the wrong area that the Democratic Party controls. And in the ghettos where a lot of victimized Black people live, you're in a world of hurt. You don't want to go there. So I don't want you to get the wrong idea here. But 95% of the places that you go outside of the ghettos in America are very, very nice places. They need to kind of put a barbed wire fence around the ghettos and just keep the people in there and just drop food down from a helicopter. Like, you know, they had in that movie Escape from New York. Kurt Russell, when they made New York a prison. Yeah, they need to just find the big ghettos and just, you know, that's almost like, you know, they talked about, I heard somebody talk about they might start putting uncivilized Black people back on reservations or in cage enclosures. It's kind of what the ghettos are right now anyway, but I digress. These Europeans are finding that Black people, that America is not anything like Black Democrats have said that it is. And I've been telling y'all that for years. These black Democrats now got this thing going on that hope works. It's called, they tell the Democrats, no reparations, no vote. So they tell the Democrats, unless y'all provide reparations for us, we're not voting for y'all anymore. That's a good slogan. Go with that.
Reparations is more than a check, but the very first thing it is a check. And come this year during the midterms and in 2028, if you don't have our check, you won't get no vote. No check, no vote. Yeah, I know that ain't what you want to hear, but that's what's happening. All of y'all in here, with all due respect, you're beautiful, but you're old. You're not talking to the youth. You don't know how to talk to the youth. You try to tell us what to do. We're not having it no more. So if you want our vote, you got to come with our paper. We're not scared of Trump. We're not scared of anybody. Biden is a racist. Trump is a racist.
We finally have somebody that has stepped up to Al Sharpton, and it is radiating all over the Black Democrat shields radio, because ever since Melrose ambushed Al Sharpton's "Y'all need to vote for immigrants" campaign, they have been pissed, livid, and just beside themselves. Because ever since Melrose stepped into the mic and told those Democrats to their faces that if they do not cut the check, meaning pay us what you owe, our reparations, y'all will not be hearing from us in the midterms or 2028. We will not be voting for y'all asses.
I wholeheartely endorse that sentiment. Listen to me well, Black Democrats. Hear me. If the Democratic Party does not provide reparations for y'all in this next election, in the midterms, don't vote for them.
She doesn't live. She has money.
They've been tagging y'all on too long on this now. No reparations, no vote. Say it with me. No reparations, no vote. No reparations, no vote. No reparations, no vote. Because that means that ain't none of you black folks gonna vote for them because y'all ain't never get no reparations. See how that works?
Yeah, they find sending her money now.
But at least y'all catching on to it. No reparations, no vote. No reparations, no vote. It's it's NRNV. Put it on t-shirt. No reparations, no vote. So all you black people say that, and you ain't voting for the Democratic Party unless you get reparations, okay? Before the American Revolution, our founding fathers considered themselves slaves of the empire. And then Thomas Jefferson read John Locke. He said that our freedom was not given us by the king. It was an unalienable right given us by God. It is irrevocable, non-transferable, and unsellable. The founders understood that, and this is why, at the end of the Declaration of Independence, they put, we pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. They said they would die before they'd be slaves. I won't just die before I be a slave. I'll kill before I be one. So all y'all out there to say you have no choice, but the founders showed you. It's Patrick Henry that said, give me liberty, or give me death. And on that fateful night when George Washington had to cross the Delaware River in the ice and the snow, or the American Revolution would be lost, they said, General, what are the passwords? He said, victory or death. Either we're successful tonight or we all die. That's the idea of a free man. And I am a free man. So all you out there that believes that someone has to give you your freedom, you're admitting that you're a slave. If you come try to take my freedom away, God has given me the right to defend myself. And I got two things that'll get you off of me. That is Jesus and my 38. Slave is a choice. So anyway, the World Cup is here. being played in Canada, United States, and Mexico. And the people are finding the food of America to be great. They're finding the people of America to be great. They're finding the hospitality of America to be great. They're finding America to be great, just like what Alexis de Tocqueville said. America is great because America is good. I know a lot of you people want to say, well, they had it in slavery. They had it in slavery. You had yourself in slavery. How can somebody have themselves in slavery? You could have just simply left, killed your master, died yourself. That's why I'm doing this documentary, Slavery is a Choice. I'm not giving you anywhere to go. God gave you free will. C.S. Lewis says that we do not have a yearning for something that does not exist in this world. So everlasting life exists. We believe as Christians that we do not die, we live forever. C.S. Lewis said we all meet, everybody we meet is immortal, completely immortal. We live forever. So if we believe that as Christians, even if we die, we live forever and we go to Christ. So when they threaten us with death, we smile, say, please, release me from this world. So this is why when they use death as a threat to keep you enslaved, as a Christian, you should have said, that's no threat at all. Take my life. I gained. So everybody said, well, they forced me. Nobody forced you. But Abraham Lincoln emancipated the slaves on January 1st, 1863, and told you to rebel against your masters. Come, you're free. Very, very few of you did it. It's like now. You can vote for school choice tomorrow. You vote against it. You can vote for the police to allow for the city council and your government to allow you all to be armed tomorrow and maybe shoot any little drug dealer that walk into your arm to your yard. You vote against it. You can vote to have your families brought together. You vote against it. You are now participants in your own oppression. You vote for the very party that's oppressing you, the same way you worked for the same confederacy that was oppressing you. So it's not oppression, it's participation. And then the Union Army comes down and they free you. Yeah, you're free. A gift. Even after you commit treason. By giving aid and comfort to the enemy. They still give you your freedom. So I don't want to hear it. Then the Europeans are coming here and finding out about your lie. People all over the world are coming here and seeing what you're given. That you walk around with iPhones. You have EBT cards. You have SNAP benefits. You have Medicaid, which is free medical care. You have free education if you just go and get educated. You don't look like you're missing any meals. If you want to be housed, you're housed. And you're full of ingratitude. And what did Martin Luther King Jr. said? Women will be satisfied. We will never be satisfied. Not until justice rolls down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. It's just a fancy way of saying never. And that is the communist concept and Marxist concept of consistent, continuous revolution. Never satisfied. Always angry. Always ungrateful. And gratitude is one of the greatest attributes of man. Even the dog will not bite the hand that feeds it. And black people hate the country of their birth, and they badmouth it, and they put it down online. And then you ask them, well, you don't like it, leave. Well, hold it now. So the Europeans say they might want to come stay in America. It's amazing to me that this country that all of you put down, none of you want to leave it, that we have to put up a wall to keep the people out, not to keep the people in like the East Germans did, like the North Koreans are doing. If you want to go, you can go. Go. Doors open. See you. And none of you leave. There are people trying to break in over here. Break in. There's a reverse migration of black people coming back down south. Yes. People are coming back here because the world knows you are liars.
Definitely liars.
And now because of the World Cup, the cat's out of the bag. So all true Americans out there, congratulations. The world is seeing you for who you are, a great people, a strong nation. A nation that is not perfect, but we're closest to the most perfect thing in the world. And if we can ever get this element in the Democratic Party, if we can either destroy them or change their minds, America will be an example. We'll continue to be the example for the world. Every country in the world that yearns to be free looks to America. Every country that yearns to be prosperous looks to America. Every country that yearns to live a life of abundance, of charity, and gratitude looks to America. And that is a proud, proud legacy. So thank you, Europeans. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for all that you do. Let's have a great World Cup. Let's have a great summer. And for all of you people that still hate this country, we still love you.
We love you.
And I'm going to keep bringing this to you because I'm here to wake you up. Hope it did you some good here today. Join us again for another edition of the Vince Everett Ellison Show.
I'm April Chapman.
And I'm
Our intern just sprinted across the lawn. We have this, the Supreme Court rejecting President Trump's effort to end birthright citizenship through executive order. This is a right that has been recognized in the Constitution for over 100 years. Then subsequently, Congress passed laws with language that mirrored what was in the 14th Amendment, saying that if you are born here, you are a citizen of the United States. Now, in his first campaign, President Trump floated the idea of ending birthright citizenship. He and some of his supporters have complained about abuses of that system, so-called birth tourism, national security concerns. So in his second term, one of the first things he did when he came into office is that he signed this executive order ending birthright citizenship. But at the time, even people inside the administration told me they weren't sure if he was going to be able to do it that way, right? This is something that would likely have to go through Congress. We saw in the oral argument that justices across the political spectrum were skeptical about this. So it is not a surprise, Pamela, that he has lost.
All right, you guys, it's been 3 hours and 10 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and attend to the house. Get ready to barbecue soon. I'll be back tomorrow for you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys. Let's continue to grow. And hit the all button, and I'll be back.